Oh, Professor, drop back down. Professor, go ahead and request it again. I'm gonna go ahead and send you an invite. I hope these Twitter spaces ain't gonna be acting up tonight, man. Damn, I hope it ain't gonna be acting up. Can't hardly come in these spaces no more without this shoddy connection. Mel and Rella and Trouble, they had a nice space Friday speaking on some of this stuff about the actual Asian hate or the supposedly anti-Asian the anti-black Asian hate and whatnot. So I'm definitely gonna try to get them to come up here tonight as well too. Professor, I sent you an invite as well too, so check your invite. Let me send it again. Because I don't, like I said, I don't know what be going on with these Twitter spaces now. Like I tried to get in, I've been trying to get in some of these Twitter spaces and it takes me 15, 20 minutes to get in some of them. I mean, I do everything I can to get in and it just takes forever and a day to get into it.
I know it, man. It's crazy because I was just sending you a request, and then it's like I was up there, then I dropped down, and I don't know, man. We gotta hurry up and get off this damn app.
I was trying to get into I was trying to get in Brother McCool's space last night, and man, it took 15 minutes. Like every time I come into the space, I can't hear anything or nothing like that. I had to keep coming in and out, in and out. I cleared all the cache. I turned the phone on and off, all in one. I did everything. I mean, repeatedly, and it took me a good 15 minutes. Same with DJ Space the other night. It took me forever to get in there. So I don't know what's going on with these spaces, man. It seemed like it's worse than what it was before. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly, man. Especially with who taking over. It's really been bad.
Oh yeah.
And you have everybody complaining about him right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I heard Dave Chappelle was at the little comedy show, and they started getting on. They was booing Eli, and I guess people got upset with Dave because Dave was taking up. Let me give a shout out to Trouble as well. I see Trouble just came up in the space. Ray, I sent you the co-host invite, so when you see that, go ahead. Okay, I see you up there now. So yeah, everybody that's coming into space, y'all go ahead and share this out, man. I want to hear y'all views and thoughts, man, too, about the last few days and stuff like that. And what's up with my man Godfrey? Like how long ago was it that Warnock was approached by Marcel? Like man, we gonna go in tonight on this stuff here though, man. We gonna go.
Oh yeah, yes. Hey, look, I already because I was just over in another space probably about an hour ago. One that Sister Phoenix Rising was hosting, and I think she was hosting it. Yeah, it was her and Freeman was hosting it. And Conative.
Oh Lord, here we go with the shoddiness. Here we go.
Crazy shit they be throwing out in all these other spaces. You come over to the Newstoter space, And this is where you're going to get information. This is where you're going to get people that's talking about some real shit, okay?
Hey, just like that, while you was talking, Professor, I just lost connection. I had to reconnect real quick. It's like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you was talking and it just went out. The screen went dark. Let me go ahead. I had to go ahead and reconnect to the space real quick, just that quick, man.
It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, man. We got to get ready to migrate over to social. I hope everybody have their profile set up. I know I have mine over there, and I'm hoping that the rest of the Black American family has at least made an attempt to set up a profile. Sister Trouble was up. Sister Mel Cruz up in the house. Sister Tony. There's Sister Whitney. I think I see a Who Did You? Is that Who Did You down there? Okay, yeah, that is her. And good to see you up in here, sister. And of course, my three brothers up there. We got DJ Ray, Newstoter. They always bringing a great space.
I said we got my man Original down there too, so I know Original gonna bring Original. Oh my God, Original had a damn this guy. He had the actual video of this. Lord, he had the video of this Asian that he had sent me. This Joker was talking noise out there in Arizona. He telling this black dude. He telling a couple black dudes. Talking about that this is the residential zone that they was at. Talk about now. I wish NBC and CBS and all the rest of them would cover that. He's sitting up telling these black guys about this is a no nigga zone. I kid you not. He telling it. This Joker look like he about 65, 70 years old. Young black cat. He like, y'all see what's going on and whatnot. The black dude told him like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna make sure that you don't touch me or my man right here. He like, because you could tell the black dude wanting to light into him. He gonna sit up here and talk about this is a no nigga zone right here. Like, oh Lord, bro, like this Joker like a damn baby boomer sitting up here telling some folks that this is a no nigga zone. So I'm like, oh Lord, this is what we talking about nowadays right here. All of this nonsense about anti-Asian hate coming from black people and stuff like that, and the media is just going ahead and they just bypassing all of this vitriol that the Asians are showing black people. What's going on tonight, Ray? How you doing?
What's going on tonight, y'all? I just wanted to see, did anyone else see that Kanye West was named the anti-Semite of the year?
Yeah, and I was just about to post it. I'm gonna post that later on, man. I didn't get a chance to, but yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Man, they just won't let this cat go, man. They won't leave him alone, man. They just need to leave that brother alone. See, this is what I don't understand. It's like they want to paint all the black people as being anti-Semitic. But man, you got white people that's been around here dogging Jews out for years, man, saying all kinds of shit. Talking about they're gonna bomb they synagogues and everything else. So why is it that all of a sudden you all up on the black man trying to paint us as being anti-Semitic? What's up with this shit? You know, I don't understand that.
By show of hands to everybody that's in the space tonight, who was in the Luther Campbell space last night when he was talking about Democrats gonna give reparations? So what's the problem? By show of hands, anybody that went to that space, just put your hand up or whatever. I just want to see who was all up in the house who was all up in the house. My brother McCoo was up there last night. Okay, I know we had quite a few people that was up in there, man, and a lot of people was hot. Matter of fact, my brother McCoo, he had a space that was lit yesterday. I went to it afterwards and stuff like that. He gave me the opportunity to also speak. And like I say, I don't have to go in Luther Campbell's spaces because I already know what Luke doing. Luke trying to get that attention. Like Luke, he know his hip hop days are gone. Luke up there coaching Little League football in Miami. Luke ran for mayor down there in Miami and came in 4th place years ago and stuff like that. So Luke is trying to stay relevant. All of a sudden, I mean, Luke came out 35, 40 years ago, and now Luke is sitting up here talking about trying to be this political head when he never in his prime, never in his heyday was worried about politics and this and that. And not only that, why is Luke so focused on Black American reparations? Like I never hear him say, I'm going to champion CARICOM reparations. Never hear him say that. He's constantly sitting up here talking about the reparations in this country. You never hear any Black person of any worth, any name, any statue sitting up here talking about, well, you know what? Let me interject myself into the reparations that Jamaica, Bahamas, Haiti, and all of the rest of them talking about. But Luke is constantly sitting up here. He's constantly talking about the actual reparations and stuff, what's going on here. He's constantly telling us who we should vote for and who we shouldn't vote for. Like, man, we could vote for whoever the hell we want to vote for. So like I say, at the height of his career, when he was doing his thing down there in Miami, as nasty as they want to be, Luke was never political. You can say I can see if Luke was like Tupac or something like that, or Ice Cube or any of them boys back in the day, but Luke was never about politics. So all of a sudden now he got to this political point in his life. I just don't understand what he's talking about. He's constantly sitting up here, and I wish our people would stop going up in these spaces. Don't go up in these spaces. The more you go up in the spaces, the more he's gonna have these spaces. He wants to be the talk on Sunday or Twitter. That's why he's holding these spaces. That's why, because the Democrats, I don't know if they're giving him a little money or whatever, but Luke wants to get into politics. He's doing his little league thing. He's doing his little articles and stuff down there, the Miami Times and stuff like that. Go ahead, man, and keep doing community football and trying to help the youth out and this and that or whatever, and let Black people handle politics the way they want to handle it. We don't need to be told what's going on and what to do and who to vote for and all this other nonsense. So all of a sudden, like I say, back in the day, he was all about pop that coochie. Now all of a sudden you sitting up here talking about who we should be voting for and this and that. And let me say something. Yeah, the Democrats should be giving reparations because the Democrats are the party of Jim Crow. The Democrats are the party of segregation. The Democrats are one of the biggest slavers there was. And I don't want to sit up here and people talking about, well, in the 1960s, they switched parties and all the bad Democrats went to the Republican Party and this and that. Is nonsense. So I don't even want to hear all of this nonsense right here, but I'm just interested to see any of our people that was in that space last night. I'm saying I'm losing Brother McCoo. Hopefully he'll come back in here because like I say, He had a fire space. Trouble and Mel, they had a fire space on Friday. They was talking about the actual anti-Asians and stuff, and I definitely want to get their opinion on that too. So Trouble, whenever you want to speak on that, because who was it, the child dude or whatever, like they were sitting up here, black dude sitting up here telling his side of the story about, how they get treated by Asians. And it's not a surprise. Like, if you go in these Asian stores, they following you around and this and that, hurry up and buy and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden now we just brand new. We just making this stuff up here. So I want to get, I definitely want to hear some of the brothers and the sisters' point of view in terms of the anti-Asian hate. Also, like I say, Godfrey, he comes up here, he's sitting up and he's talking about Marcel and, talk about what was a time. It's always a time. I guess he's never seen politicians and stuff before get heckled by people and stuff. Whenever a politician is walking around, people ask them all the time about their agenda, their platform, what they're going to do. So all of a sudden, when Warnock, who's a sitting senator, got asked a question in the state of Georgia, which has a large black population, you're a black senator, it makes only sense that another black man who ran for Congress, even though he was in another state, may want to know exactly what's your thoughts and your opinions. Because whenever I guess Godfrey also missed that one time that Marcel was asked about it when he was not Marcel, but what's his name? Warnock was asked about reparations by this black dude when he was somewhere, and he just totally ignored it and just switched to the topic. So whenever Warnock is asked about reparations, he just completely shuts down. He goes to something else. So I guess that Godfrey missed that. I guess Godfrey didn't see that part there when he was asked a question about it before, and he just totally ignored the brother asking him something like that. Just kindly just went on and brushed it off. So whenever he gets asked a specific question about something, he just brushes it off. So I don't understand what Godfrey's taking it to. He's trying to make it out of nothing. Like people ask politicians all the time, "Hey man, what are you going to do? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" What's up, DJ? What's going on tonight, bro?
Ain't much Newstoter reparations. So what's good, my people? So I think that brother you talking about was brother Jimmy Followed. He was going around early on, just running up on these candidates. Hey, reparations. Hey, Senator Warnock, reparations. Senator Harris, reparations. Miss Waters, reparations. Like he was running down on these folks. So if you ever see those videos online, light skinned, fairly husky brother, real good people. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, real talk, man. Was that the brother that time when they had the he was the one that he was in the audience and he asked the question and Warnock just brushed him off and just went to some other like just a whole other like talking point? Like
I believe so. That's the same brother that he caught Clobber after like some type of little rally meeting or whatever was going on in that auditorium, and he was like, "Hey, Senator, Majority Will Clobber, hey, reparations, cut the check. And Clobber was calling him a fool or whatever. He's like, "Oh, I ain't got no money. You got to talk to this or that." And it was those old ladies that was there back. They're like, "Dad, did you have your breakfast today?" Why you going in on Clobber like that? Because we need to right now. Our old heads don't get it. You know what I mean? We need to right now. So shout out to Jimmy Alfala. I'll see if I can find those videos. Real talk.
yeah, real talk. I'm trying to let you come in to speak, and I gave you an invite because I kept clicking on it. I couldn't get you to come in. Let me give a shout out to all my people over there on YouTube as well too. What's up to all you guys that's listening on YouTube as well too? I'm trying to get y'all. If Ray DJ, if y'all could get online to come up in, because I'm clicking OK. Hit click.
I've been accepting it myself. It's just not letting up.
Yeah, man. These spaces.
I told you. Jersey.
And then Brother McCoo, I had him because I wanted to ask Brother McCoo. I know he was in that loot space as well too. Trouble, what's going on, sister? I know you like I said, I know y'all had a fire space on Friday. Y'all were talking about the anti-Asian and everything that was going on as well. So I definitely want to hear what you got to say tonight as well too. So and just trying to click on the approving people to speak is like is a task. Now, Brother McCoo was right there. Then the brother just left. It's like, I don't know what's up with these Twitter spaces, man.
I still see Brother McCoo right there.
You see him?
Yeah, I still see him.
I see him, but he's as a listener, but he was trying to come up to speak. Let me send the invite to speak, Brother McCoo. Maybe that'll.
This Twitter space is definitely acting up. Let me go back out this thing real quick.
Yeah, man, these Twitter spaces are just starting to become annoying here, man. Like, I don't remember having that kind of issue before, but Trouble. Like I say, I know you and you Rella and Mel, y'all had a space the other night talking about the actual the relationship with the anti-Asian and the blacks and stuff like that. Do you mind just touching up on that on the one brother that came and that was talking? I don't know if you were in the space at the time. I know you came later as a co-host, but were you in the space when the one brother was talking about and they tried to deem him as being a almost anti-Asian and this and that when he was just sharing his experiences? I know people didn't like the fact that he said that people were coming from Hong Kong and China and stuff like that, but
Hey, shout out to the whole group. Much love to everybody in the space tonight. I think Sister Mel could speak on that a little bit. I was kind of in and out of the space. So, Sister Mel, you mind answering that question?
Yeah, not a problem at all. Shout out to everybody.
What's up, Mel?
Hey. So yeah, it was just they were having a city council meeting, and I looked into some more of that, and the meeting was over the city council bill, the Fair Chance for Housing Act, and basically what it is if that bill passes, what it will do is get rid of any type of background checks. So people that have criminal backgrounds, any type of negative thing that would typically make someone ineligible for renting a property, that bill would do away with that. And so that is what the meeting was about. And one of the girls that came into space, who actually happened to be there, she really is the one that cracked this case wide open as far as the specific details. But the Asians want to. This is what I found interesting. At that same meeting, one of the Asian lady who started all this controversy spoke and said that, well, we have multiple properties, but here we got a whole bunch of Black Americans that ain't got shit, can't get a loan, and ain't got a home. We have multiple properties, and we're just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, but y'all doing it with heat and water and a roof over your head. And so she was trying to sway the council to see it from her point of view that we're just trying to make it in this life. So we don't want this law to go into effect, but it would. And every person at that table was advocating on their behalf, and on behalf of any person to be able to rent somewhere, because people cannot rent. Even if they have these rental vouchers or whatever, they can't find anywhere to live. They can't be approved.
all right, sister, I definitely appreciate that. Like I said, I know the brother, he came in there and he was talking and he was just sharing his experience and stuff dealing with, a lot of Asians and stuff like that. And somebody also made a point, like if Black people are doing so much to Asians so I think that might have been Volvo, because I heard some of the space. I was listening to it. I caught it late Friday, so I only caught like the last 40 minutes, but I went back today and I listened to the vast majority of it. But if Black people were doing all this to Asians, then why do they insist on, putting their businesses and stuff in Black communities and neighborhoods? If Black people were so bad to them, Black people are a huge base of their actual economics. So if Black people were doing this and doing that to them, why would you go ahead and put your business there? Apparently, Black people aren't treating you as bad as what you're telling everybody. And not only that, like everybody was saying too about the whole COVID thing, when that popped off and you started getting these bills passed and people talk about the anti-Asian hate and this and that or whatever, magically, once those bills got passed and they started funding these businesses and stuff like that, you rarely start hearing about all of these Black people attacking Asians. Like, what happened? I thought it was like this. I just thought it was this crime wave of Black people just singling Asian Americans out and just beating the crap out of them. What happened once you went ahead and passed the law? Because check it out, you have hate crimes and everything else. Nonetheless, Black people are still the ones that are victims of hate crimes more than anybody else. So even with having the hate crime law and whatnot, it hasn't stopped anti-Black hate crimes and stuff committed against them. So I'm just trying to figure out how did all of this change and whatnot. I see my boy Chase is up in the spot. Chase, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, Toto, I don't know. Can I just jump in real quick? Because I wanted to confirm something else.
Go ahead.
Volvo is the one that made that. I mean, that was an outstanding observation, that all of these Chinese restaurants are in all of our neighborhoods. And so maybe that's a target we could look at boycotting. But one other thing, in this other article I found, Mayor Adams is willing to sign that bill into law if it gets on his desk. Now, I'll rock with that, because the alternative, as far as Adams is concerned, is to start rounding the people up and putting them in institutions, and then and they're going to allow the police to make that determination. And I'll land my plane right.
All right, sister. Appreciate you, Mel. Thank you, Chase. I know you had your hand up, and Chase, I know you was up in there. You made some great points. I don't even want to talk about it, but when you was talking about the Harris stuff, I definitely go ahead, Chase, and unmute your mic. And you were making some great points. I heard you in that space as well too.
Thank you, brother, man. Peace to the family. I hope everybody is doing good, man. Yeah, man. Okay, so we have to look at these people, and we have to take our emotion out of when we are trying to comprehend what's going on. We have to take our emotion out of it, man. All of us, men, black women, we have to take our emotion out of it. This lady told on herself in that meeting. If y'all remember correctly, she said, "We have a building full of Chinese people." I want y'all to think about that statement right now, okay? You have a building, a tenant building, full of Chinese people. How in the hell, mathematically, in New York, that you just happen to wind up with a whole building with nothing but Chinese people? You people have been discriminating from the outset. They told us that. They said that in the meeting. Y'all caught that, right? She said, "We have a building full of Chinese people, and it would be wrong if we got to accept criminals." And she went in and, bro, listen, they just told it. It's right there in front of our face. Why aren't we picking up on these cues that these people are doing? It seems like they took a page right out of the small ass thing and hey, it seemed like they took a page right out of the small hat techniques and they're using them against us. You see, they went up there and they started talking about the brother being a sex offender and that black people were so criminal and shit like that. And yeah, what the brother said is absolutely right. If we're so bad, why are you setting up shop in our neighborhoods? You know, and I mean, man, it's really not that hard to figure out. Everybody in this whole United States is against us. You know, they don't want us to have shit. They rather see us subjugated. You know, but we got to keep pushing with that good fight, family. You know, and with little instances like that, man, just look at what these people are saying and how detrimental that is. It's like, so they were there to counter the bill, right, Miss Mel? So if they were there to counter the bill, you people are trying to get the state of New York to go along with your discriminatory practices. You know, I want y'all to think about that. All of the people in New York, all the different races and cultures and everything, how do you just wind up with a tenement building full of Chinese people? That's mathematically impossible. So I landed on that.
You made a great point there, brother. You made a great point as always, Chase. I enjoy hearing your perspective on things as well too. I'm kicking to Brother McCool, and I'm gonna kick it to Trouble after that.
Well, I mean, I think brother just said it right there. You know, they handing out these dog whistles like it's candy. You know, she just said right in that article Miss Mel was talking about how we got a whole building of Chinese people. You know, why we gotta accept thugs? Thugs, that mean black people. You know what I'm saying? That's a dog whistle. We was just talking about this messaging in the space earlier. Me, brother Freeman, and JB. We were just talking about the messaging that they do right before they do their corruptive actions, and this is proving a point that we were making earlier in our space, in the space that he was holding. You know, these dog whistle messages right before they do this harm to us, I'm glad that everybody's picking up on it. And Brother Chase just said something really, really profound. You know, like, man, we need to start setting shop up next to these motherfuckers and putting them right out of business. I mean, shit. I know a black woman can make a mean goddamn egg foo young better than them motherfuckers. So, you know, we really got to start hitting it on that angle. You know what I'm saying? Strategically, because you know it's this they right out in the open with it, and you know this is a war against us. And just like Chase said, we ain't got no friends. We ain't got no friends, not on this platform, and not on this continent, except for us. So we gonna have to bear down and get these dog whistles, start catching them a lot more. I mean, catching them like baseballs. And then, yeah, you know, I land there with that.
Real quick, brother McCool, because I know you was in the because you had that space yesterday, and you was in the Luke space as well too. You mind just sharing with the people a little bit of what you thought about that space, what you heard, and whatnot? Because I know it prompted you to go ahead and create your own space shortly after that.
Yeah, shout out to the brother Art and the brother Friedman. They definitely shut Luke's space down to shambles. Luke and his shills were basically, they had a group saying that the Democrats are for reparations, so now what? Brother Naheem was in there too. He definitely shut them down too. And what these people are doing is they are creating spaces to find out what we are doing. You know what I'm saying? And I want to just give another shout out to Brother Friedman and Naheem. You know, they were asked directly by Luke, well, what are y'all doing? You know, like they want to know our plans. And shout out to these two brothers that just kept it on point. They ain't let up, and they ain't let them know shit. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't let them know shit. But that's why Luke holds these spaces, because he's a shield and he's trying to find out what black people are doing, because we keeping his ass out the loop. And you know, that goddamn the characters they had up there, Nikki and Leslie, they were I mean, you know, they were garbage. And my man Friedman just shut them down completely. Every rebuttal that they had, you know, him and Art just broke down the numbers and the politics so beautiful that it was no way that they could come and because basically they were lying. That's what it is. They were lying, and he was lying, trying to find out what we were doing. So the final synopsis of our space that me and Brother Freeman hold last night, it wasn't just me. We were just saying that the plan is going forward that we won't go into spaces, and if we see spaces like that held by these shields, our codified action will be to hold a counter space and you know, keep our people, you know, keep people that look like us on code, basically. So I know Freeman probably would have a little bit more to add to that, because just like I said, my brother was just so profound. Him and Art, I have to give it up to Art. You know, I don't agree with a lot. I mean, what everyone says, but last night these three gentlemen were phenomenal, and I think we just take lessons from them. Just on how they shut that shit down with Luke, Leslie, and Erica, or whatever the fuck her name is. Goddamn, they were disgusting.
Appreciate that, brother. Definitely. And like I said, next time he does have a space and somebody goes in there, ask him why is he not worried about what CARICOM is giving? Like, shouldn't that be your concern and whatnot? What's going on with CARICOM and their reparations? Let him ask him about that and see if he'll go ahead and he'll answer that little part right there.
Well, I want to see something, and Freeman did add something that I think was really profound. Luke shouldn't even be speaking on our fucking topics. You know what I'm saying? Nobody like him should be speaking on our topics. And I think Brother Freeman even said that to him. He said, yeah, you're bohemian and you shouldn't even be speaking on this topic. That was profound and powerful, because that damn near shut Luke down. He got tongue twisted with that and had to change the subject, because he knew that Freeman was right. You're not a Freeman You're not FBA. Why are you speaking on our topic? Why?
Real talk, brother. I appreciate that, brother.
And Nikki is his dancer. I just want y'all to know that. That's right.
She a Luke dancer.
Yeah, Professor was putting that out, and he was putting that out in the open last night. Like, look, he was putting it exactly where it needed to be. So shout out to everybody that did come in that space last night. And again, I will be holding more spaces, and in the future. And that was just, was on a humble. I was really upset with how, he was trying to treat my brothers, and it just compelled me to make that space. And shout out to Freeman again, because he was co-hosting, and it was just awesome.
Hey, and Brother Muku, I invited Freeman up in here too, so he probably come in later. Definitely like to see him come up in here, because Freeman, man, he brings a lot of knowledge on these spaces, and he's one of the brothers that I have connected to, besides you, of course, Brother Muku and DJ and Ray and Newstoter. It's only certain ones I go in spaces in, man, because a lot of folks I ain't gonna fool with too tough. Yeah, and they go that trouble. They go that trouble up in the space.
Yeah, let me go ahead and real quick. Let me go ahead and get it to Trouble and get it back to Chase and hold on. We got Trouble, then we're gonna go to Who Did, then we're gonna get to Chase and DJs. So go ahead, anybody that wants to speak to and that wants to come up, go ahead and request to speak and get your hands up, and we'll go ahead and we'll definitely let you go ahead and speak.
Hey, just real quick, if you want me to play those videos from Brothers Jamie on, just let me know. All right, I'm gonna put my hand down, though.
Okay, let's go ahead and get to Trouble. How you doing, Trouble?
I'm doing all right. I'm gonna jump from the topics a little bit. As far as that Asian hate, we already know what that's about. They feeling the crunch, but I didn't watch the video, and I noticed that while the woman was trying to demolish the brother that spoke inside of the meeting, she never did post up what it was that he said to spark his reaction. The only thing that she could say was, "Oh, he called us garbage." No, he didn't call you garbage. He called what you were saying inside of your own meeting garbage. And now that I'm hearing what it was that you all were saying, he used a nicer word than what I would have used. And y'all pretty much know some of the words that I would use. I won't use them now, but you already know. That was some absolute bullshit. You set up your stuff in our communities. You do not live, you do not eat, you do not make $1. You don't make $2. You don't make nothing if it wasn't for the black community.
You have by now, trouble. You get me in trouble.
Okay, $2 sake. You get nothing if it wasn't for the black community. You would be sitting on the streets where the rest of our people is at in New York, trying to find $1. So how they all of a sudden make a little bit of a come up and then try to use these dog whistle words towards us like you don't want these thugs inside of your building. The hell you mean? Get inside these buildings all you want, but then when we finally get collectively smart enough to stop shopping at your businesses, let's see how you maintain these buildings that you're trying so hard to get up in. And it's been a lot of it just seems like all groups right now are trying to make black people the face of all hate. And it doesn't make a difference which group it is. You want black people to be the face of LGBT hate, the face of Hispanic hate, the face of migrant hate. Like NBC posted an article earlier today saying that, there's been an uprising of hate towards the LGBT community, migrants, and Jews. I think, or was it Jews or was it Asians or whoever? All I know is they didn't list us. But it's always so what you're saying. Then they mentioned Kanye inside of the article, so that's another dog whistle on the low. Still trying to hit us on the low, and it really seems like none of this really came about until black people really started making a harder push for lineage-based reparations. Had we have been trying to include all of these other groups, or maybe not even been trying to push lineage-based reparations so hard, they wouldn't be trying so hard right now to make us the face of everything. But one thing has nothing to do with the other. And I can give a fuck about whether or not they make us the face of all of this hate. I give a damn. Reparations are still a debt that's owed. So you can do whatever little trip bag it is that you feel that you need to get at the white collective to say, well, black people don't deserve A, B, and C. It's a debt that still owes. You could make me that face of, hey, you could call me racist, and maybe I am a little bit racist, because at this point in time in my life, I don't give a goddamn about no other people but my own. So if that's what makes me a racist, then I'll wear that tag. Godfrey. Hey, is what it is. Godfrey. I listened to the video that Godfrey was saying. That's the common talking point. But it's funny to me because if Marcel really didn't hit on any nerves, if he really didn't do anything, then so many people wouldn't be rushing out the box to speak on it. All of these other people speaking on it the way that they're speaking on it says exactly that he hit on some nerves and he's doing something.
Hey, hold on. Somebody has a mic unmuted. Make sure that your mics are muted. Somebody has a mic. Somebody's mic is hot, so go ahead and make sure it's muted. Go ahead, Trouble.
So Godfrey can say what he want to say. It's just the whole fact that the brother even take recognition of it, to even take the time out to even go and speak on it on side of a little podcast show. So Marcel had some. He's making some waves. He's doing something because now you all want to speak on it. Luke always have been holding these spaces, and I go inside of the space because I see my people up inside of the space. But we really need to avoid going inside of his space because, like the brother said already, he's just really trying to figure out what it is that we know, what it is that we're doing. He's using it to basically, they're trolling it. And you could tell when Nikki comes on to speak, and generally she'll sit quiet for a long period of time until somebody get up there and start speaking some facts and start hitting on something. And then she does this little nervous laughter as she kicks them off the stage.
He's also doing it to stay relevant as well, too. Luke is a self-promoter. Luke came up in music industry as a promoter. So Luke is also doing that to bring notoriety and keep notoriety and attention on himself as well, too. Yeah, he wants to know exactly what's going on in terms of political things with the Democrats and whatnot, but he's also doing it to also keep the spotlight and limelight on himself as well, too.
Yeah, but I don't know why, because he's washed up. Nobody wants him. Go back to your people, and maybe you can get your people. And you said something that was poignant earlier. Why don't he start talking about the curator? You know, if black people, again, if we were talking about including all of these other groups inside of our claim, nobody would have anything to say. Luke's spaces would take a totally different position. Even Umar, if we were talking about including Africans, or if somebody said, well, why come we don't, let's champion Africans getting their reparations, this would be a totally different conversation. But it seems like everybody is afraid of not being able to grift off of the Black American. On one hand, you all are trying to throw us under the bus. You're trying to stump on us. You're trying to make us out to be X, Y, and Z. We're lazy. We're nothing. We're this and that. But at the same time, it's something about us saying that we want to delineate and we want to champion things specifically for ourselves this time that got everybody's panties in a bunch.
Trouble, I'm gonna say this right here. I think that this issue here is even beyond reparations, because, and I said this before in a couple other spaces, if you can go ahead and you can make black people and black Americans now the face of racism and bigotry, a group who's been discriminated against more than any other group in the history of this country, then you can get to the point where you say, well, no, everybody is racist, everybody's a bigot, everybody's this, everybody's that. So, we're beyond the racism part in this country. We can go ahead and move forward. To me, that seems to be the goal. Like that, like the reparations aside, that they definitely don't want to have anything to do with reparations. But when you start now black people, now they make Kanye West the biggest anti-Semite in the country. You're sitting up here and these bills were passed, and every time you saw something on the news, it was some black person beating up an Asian. Now you're talking about, you got Charles Barkley sitting on TV talking about that black people treat LGBTQ the worst. It's just like it's not stopping. Like, it's just starting to pile on and pile on and pile on. And like I say, once you get to that point, you can say, well, if black people are bigots and racists and stuff like that, and that really everybody in the country is, so it's no big deal. We done move forward and this and that. You got Asians sitting up here, and they've been going after this affirmative action, saying that they've been discriminated against more than anybody else because they're high performing and this and that or whatever. You got a lot of Asians moving into these areas and stuff. We think about white people just gentrifying areas and stuff, but now you're starting to see a lot of Asians as well too. So the simple fact of the matter is that now black people are becoming the face of what they talk about anti-Semitism, the face of racism, the face of homophobia. That's not a good thing. That to me, that's really concerning. I see the way the media is spinning it. Uh, and a lot of it is coming from the liberal media as well too. But you also have a lot of Republican, the Fox News, and those also putting it in there too, because they definitely want to go ahead and say that black people are the most racist people in the world. I've heard people say that before, and that's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Black people are the most racist people.
It's extremely dangerous.
It's extremely dangerous.
There's a difference between being actually racist and just calling things out. And that's what we're doing. We're calling out the things that we see that are going against us. So for them to turn around and try to make that some type of hate, it really kind of speaks more onto them than it speaks onto us. And I really hope people in the world is kind of paying attention to the fact that for the first time in history, in a long time, we are finally starting to call out the things that are going against us. That is actually against us, and watching how the media is turning this around on us.
But not only that, but you have a large segment of white men in this country too will tell you that they're the most discriminated group in the country, because that they have to pay for the sins of their father, and that they're getting things taken away from them unfairly and this and that too. So you have that growing sentiment with a lot of white men in this country. They've been felt that way, but it's even intensifying now. So, like I said, this is really uncharted territory. It's one thing when you have white people and black people going back and forth talking about does racism exist or racism that or whatever. Now you got Asians coming in. Now you got the LGBTQ. Now you got the Jewish community, who let's be for real, controls a big chunk of the media. They can go ahead and they can spend this stuff exactly how they want to spend it, and nobody's going to sit up here and question them because they know the repercussions that come with dealing with them. So you're starting to see a bunch of people gathering and grouping up against black people. We're not sitting here saying that there aren't black people that sit out there and commit crimes, and that they're not black people that I'm sure target Asian people and every other group and stuff like that. But the vast majority of black people are not running around targeting Asian people. The vast majority of black people are not sitting up here targeting homophobia, homosexuals or LGBTQ, anything like that, or anti-Semitic. So the fact that we have this, and the fact, like I said, that even somebody like Kanye, who most of us don't even take serious, most of us think the dude has a mental issue. I always thought that he was. I mean, I was never a Kanye fan. I know a lot of people here think he's a genius, but I never thought he was all that personally. Never was a huge fan of his music. I know that offends a lot of people, but I never thought he was this musical genius. To me, a musical genius is somebody like Prince or Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder or Michael Jackson. I never thought of him on that level. I'm sorry. Even Quincy Jones or somebody like that. I never thought of him like that. I never thought of him lyrically as a Jay-Z or a Biggie or Rakim, anything like that. That's just me personally. But the fact that they're sitting up and they're saying that as dumb as Kanye is, that he is the biggest anti-Semite in the country, where, you had all kind of neo-Nazis and skinheads, that's a little unsettling, to be truthfully honest.
I'm gonna say this here, and I'm gonna go ahead and land my plane. We have got to figure out how we're going to get ahead of these things. I think number one, we need to make sure that, to a certain degree, as much as we can, we start controlling who is inside of our groups when we're speaking on certain things. And when we hear people saying a particular thing or doing a certain thing, we got to learn how to shut it down. We also got to stay up out of certain people's spaces. We got to find a different way to congregate and have certain conversations offline or off of this particular app, if that means migrating to another app to hold certain kinds of conversations. Because one thing that we have seen in this last several years, especially since the pandemic, is they take their cues from us. We build their system. If we do something, if we say they create a law, us black people, we find a way around the law, and they watch and see what we do to get around that law. So then they find a way to shut that down, and then we find a way to get around that, and they find so we're helping them create the system, and that works the same way with these news cycle. They sit back and they listen to what we're talking about, what we're paying attention to, and they use us as fodder for their articles and for their daily news cycles on MSNBC and CNN. So what we've got to learn to do is maybe stop reposting so much stuff about what other black people are doing and start posting more stuff about what it is that they're doing, what it is that these other groups are doing that's racist and everything that they're trying to make us to be. Like this Asian woman was a video I was watching a little while ago where she was going in on these Hispanics, and she was telling them that they need to go back to their country. They were immigrants, and she even spit on one of them. See, there's certain stuff like that we need to continually highlight, and we need to do it in mass and constantly doing it so that it'll start picking up, because they use social media as their sounding board, because nobody is really buying newspapers anymore. Nobody is really, most people are starting to catch on to the propaganda that they spew on side of their news sites. So we need to start forcing the news to go in our direction, and I'll land my plane on that.
Absolutely. And if you're not buying a newspaper or something like that, definitely get online. Definitely visit newstoter.com daily. You can find a wide range of news articles on there. We will connect you to black-owned newspapers. We will connect you to major outlets as well that might not even be black-owned as well, too. So if you're looking to have a steady source of news, make sure you visit newstoter.com daily, the largest curator of black news today in America. You can support us on Cash App. That's $Newstoter. $Newstoter. If you don't have Cash App, we have Venmo and PayPal. That's up in the Jumbotron as well too. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and our newsletter as well. We need your subscriptions. We need more people. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to those. I want to give a shout out. I see Dana. She's up in the actual in a Newstoter space. So if you guys get a chance to go to YouTube, also subscribe to The Real Dana. You always catch her and Judge Joe Brown. They have great interaction. They have great videos and stuff like that as well too. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to her YouTube channel as well too. It's pretty entertaining and informative at the same time. So definitely go ahead and support the sisters as well too. She is part of the New Black Media, and she's carving out a nice niche for herself. So definitely go ahead and support that sister as well too. Let me go ahead and see what we got. We got I believe we got who did you? You're next. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello. Thank you to the host and the co-host and all the family. I cannot speak on what happened with the room last night. I was offline from Twitter. I was actually looking at a documentary. I'm going to have to speak in code just in case. It seemed like lately spaces that I have been going into have been getting bombed. So I must either it's the app or something that I mistakenly say out my mouth. So I'm going to try to be as carefully as I can and try to speak in code if I can. I did take out time last night and watch the documentary for about 4 hours. I think we all know what I'm talking about. That document, I even got the audio part, and it's a lot of information in there. I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna probably even have to jump off here tonight because I need to get one more watch in before my 48 hours is up. Once you rent it, you only have 48 hours to watch it. So I started watching it yesterday, and I can't remember what time that I rented it. But to leave that alone, to get back to what Trouble and Chase and the rest of you have been speaking on, definitely what Trouble stated is paramount. We got to do PSYOP, completely PSYOP. See, my name going into space is probably right away is going to throw an alert. antenna. So I know I have to just be as careful as I can. That my name may cause persons to think right away that where I'm coming from, that my perspective is made clear. My whole mission is to cause you pain until I leave here. So psyop, those who can go into different spaces and not be noticed or don't stick out like a thumb, then we need those persons to go into those spaces. As far as the room you're talking about, I have seen it in the hallway many a time. But when I click on it and I start seeing names that I don't want to be around, I keep right on past it. I haven't even slowed up for a second. So that's why I haven't been in that space. So I cannot speak on that person. But I definitely seen his room in the hallway many a times. So I'll leave that alone. I'll leave that for the folks who have been in there and can speak on it. We definitely need people who can go into those spaces and take up psyop and gather intel on these folks who are speaking out both sides of their mouth. Because thanks to America, we got a lot of enemies behind our lines. We got a lot of enemies behind our lines, and they're bringing in reinforcements as we speak. The Ukraine, the Somalians, the Puerto Ricans, and on and on and on. So, see, our ancestors, they didn't have that problem. No, sorry, Buddy Rowe. They did not have that problem. We were going against the paleface, and then we had a couple of stragglers here and there that was Asians and Irish and all of that, but we could identify them easily. But now, they have just muddied the waters on us. They got so many persons who are of enemy behind us that we don't know whether we coming or going. We can bump into one just by turning sideways. Yes, Lord, it's getting ready to get crazy. It's getting ready to get crazy. They don't get that plane ticket unless they answer those questions correctly. And we know what those questions are. You're going to be against Black Americans. And they probably got a list of questions they got to answer right before they give them that plane ticket. So I'm wondering, how in God's name did all of you sorry human beings get over here? I know right away you're the enemy. I ain't got to spend 1 second on it. If you're not from my bloodline, and I don't have a crystal ball, all our enemies, our melanated folks around the world in Haiti and Jamaica and Bahamas and the continent and Europe and Canada, they're crying loud. You're saying we're all Black, we're all Pan-Africa, we got the same enemy, we got a whole laundry list of things that you're trying to give us to believe in and feel sorry, but it's no time for that. We're at a crossroad. This is probably going to be the last stand before we put on the goggles, the headsets, and go into the imaginary metaverse. This is the last stand for Black Americans. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. When they flip that switch, when they flip it, I mean, I came across some information from Jeff Brown, some pale-faced white person, and it was an hour long. It shook me in my boots. I mean, I was glad I was sitting down because when they flip that switch, it's going to be ugly. It's not going to leave anyone out. Millionaires, retirees, everyone is going to be hit by it. And they're just waiting on putting the infrastructure in place. When the infrastructure gets in place, it's going to flip up. And then they're going to have whatever they have, the control society. It's getting ready to get really messy. But what I came up for was because I had to do my room a couple of days ago when I was in a space for over 2 hours. And these immigrants were making a title about trying to label FBA a hate group. I sat in that room for over 2 hours, and initially I wasn't recording it, but something told me to flip on my record. And so when I did that, I knew I had to do it because one sister, I ain't got nothing against her personally. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous when you use the word hate. And if you ain't learned by now that that word is a weapon. It's nothing has served no other purpose but a weapon. So I recorded them because these African immigrants are in there being upset because Black Americans are calling them Tedder, some word named Tedder. And I'm like, how in God's name can you compare the word hate with the word Tedder? That means that your brain is not functioning properly. And you know what else? Karma is a mother. It's going to come back to bite you. Because unless you can peel back your skin when you walk out that door, they're not going to know the difference between you and an FBA. See, that's when people are brain dead. They don't even realize that the damage and the harm that they're doing is going to come back to bite them like karma. Oh, it's not going to feel good, but then it's going to be too late for the rest of us. So I had to take time out to, and I'm going to post that video for the next 30 days, 3 times a day on all of my platforms because, like we all have said, they have already passed a bill, a crime bill called the Asian Crime Bill. They ain't got to do nothing but a little amendment. Amendment would take a couple of seconds and bring it to the floor and vote on it. Bam, it's done. So right now they got these sellouts and whoever they paying to go out here and spread this hate label on black people because they know good and darn well they plan on doing the one thing that we know they have to stop what's happening. They don't want black people organized and they don't want black people to separate. They don't want anything and they don't want, you know, the thing that I cannot say it, but it starts with C, chosen. I'm just going to say chosen. And we know the drift of the rest of it. Yes, they don't want that. Their nightmare is happening. It's unfolding right before their eyes. It's a combination of Freddy Krueger and Chucky all mixed up in one batch. And they don't know which way is up. So, folks, black people, black family, we just got to put on the seatbelt because they're getting ready to throw the kitchen sink at you and everything else. If you ain't got your head out the sand by now, you will become a casualty of war. I pray to God for my daughter every day. I'm talking to her not 24/7. I'm trying, my God, it's my darnest to get to her, to let her understand what her mother is trying to do. And I'm writing down on my notepad every time I hear someone call us a hate group. And when I die, it's going to be in my will. So my daughter, when she opened that piece of paper, she's going to remember that her mother kept track of every time someone tried to label us a hate group. Yes, they're going to label us a hate group. They have no other choice but to try to do that. They understand if they do not do that, their nightmare is going to come true. So they're getting ready to amend that hate.
Okay, sister, real quick, I'm going to go ahead because we got a bunch of hands up. So I'm going to go ahead and let you land that plane in about 30 seconds if you can. So we can go ahead and get to some other speakers, and then you can go ahead and raise your hand and come back up as well. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I got you, yeah. The last thing, yeah. What was it? Dang it. Oh, yeah. We got all these folks in the room tonight. They're going to make it so that if we try to gather in 2, 3, 4, 5, that's where that amendment is going to come in. They're going to make it so that we cannot gather, and they're going to say anytime that they gather, it's a hate group. So that's the whole agenda. That's the agenda. Everybody is shaking in their boots, like Trouble said, because we are separating, and they never want to hear that. So it can't stop. It's getting ready to be ugly. Very, very ugly. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get to original. I'm gonna get to you, Chase, too, but we're gonna get to a couple people that haven't had a chance to speak. I'm gonna get to original, and I want to hear Black Pressure as well, too, and we'll get back to the hands that's up that already spoke. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, peace, Black Power, and reparations. Well, see, what sister was said is real. Now, there's an article now. The article is in the Washington Times, which is a conservative newspaper. And what the title is, it says Kanye West and the Rise of Black Supremacy Anti-Semitism. And then below it, below it says the Black Power movement started in the late 50s, shaped by Louis Farrakhan. That's what the article said.
Louis Farrakhan in 1950s. Yeah. Louis Farrakhan wouldn't even. Please.
stand together when we make a. See, the move that we're making now is a serious move. Because we're letting them know these tethers, they're not. We know that they're not with us, and we're not going to carry them. So they're on their own. We're not coming out to defend them. You have shown us who you are. You're on your own. See, the world knows when Black Americans, true Black Americans come together, we move stuff. Well, I'm getting a feedback here.
Oh,
Somebody got the mic open.
Sorry about that. It popped off.
Okay, sorry. Okay. They understand that we move stuff. Okay, it came back on. Okay, yeah, we move stuff when we come together. And see, and the other thing, as I told you all before, when I lived in California, how we caused KABC Radio, owned by Walt Disney, to lose at least $100 million in advertising revenue. And it was the, I'm gonna call them by name. It was the Jews then that was trying to infiltrate what we were doing, and they couldn't do it because of how we had it set up. Like Dr. Claude Anderson taught us. You do not have a leader. You do, what they call it? Anyway, well, you do not, I can't think of the word won't come to my mind right now. But anyway, horizontal leadership. And so my point is that, see, this is what's happened because, see, we did not give them Kyrie. Now, a lot of us, we were not defending Kanye. But Kyrie, we said, oh, hell no. You're not getting this because he didn't do anything. And they are still pissed off because of that. Because I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've been giving them hell online. I've been posting stuff showing them how they have been nothing but we've had nothing but a parasitic relationship with these people, and they know it. But they are upset now, and they're gonna use Oprah and all these other fools to try to come after us. But it is not going to work because we are going to put that work in, and we're gonna make sure it's not going to work. And the issue is that the people need to understand, like this guy. Well, I'm gonna start with this first. See, Pan-Africanism is dead. Now, everybody, a lot of people know when Malcolm X went to Africa, tried to tell these African leaders, we got the same problem, and it's white folk. What did they tell Brother Malcolm? We got our own problems. They have never wanted to work with us. And so now that we have decided that, okay, fine, you do you, and we're going to do us, now all of a sudden, we become a hate group. Well, that's not going to work, because we're not going to let it work. It is what we decide we're going to do. That's how that's going to work. And so I just want people to understand that, look, just make sure you get your facts. I would suggest that people get the book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, and other books, whereby you can counter them, because someone asked me something about, well, give me something that the Jews have done to black people currently. And I sent them where the Israeli was sterilizing Ethiopian women. And so they got real, because they kind of know me now because I've been putting some work in on them. I don't give a damn. I don't want to disrespect anybody. I'm not going to say that. But anyway, I don't give a damn about them because they're not relevant. But what I will do, I will respond to their stupidity. And this guy, Godfrey, everybody, people thought that he was some. See, I think someone got to him because let's not forget, he came out years ago telling black people what the Nigerian was saying about us. And see, but now that we have got on code and we are saying, okay, if you're not part of our lineage, we're leaving you alone. So now he goes after Marcel. You see how this is insane. All of a sudden, you're going to speak the truth and you're going to bring us the truth. But when we tell the truth, all of a sudden, because it's your people, we're telling about your people, now all of a sudden, you want to join the party and attack us too. Okay, that's cool. Do your thing. And we're going to do our thing. But just understand, we know this terrain better than you do. And we know how to make it work for us. And that is what we're going to do. So I'm gonna land on that because I don't want to take up too much time. I don't want to say too much. But yeah, there
Appreciate that, original. And like I said earlier, you tagged me in that video where you had this Asian man, older Asian man, sitting up here telling these black guys that would play. I think it was in Arizona where they lived at his neighborhood. Talk about it's a no nigga zone right there. So that's the kind of stuff that
That's what he did, and see, and it was like I think it was two or three brothers there, and they had him on video. And the point is that see, these people think that they can come outside of where they live on the sidewalk, and even sometimes if it's inside the complex, if they see a black person, they think they have the right to come up and question you. Well, that's why you are seeing so many of them getting beat down right now, because black folks ain't putting up with that madness. Now, you want to approach me? Okay, fine. Just understand, when you start asking me questions, I have the right to pose questions to you. You're not an authority over me. And so, and that's what's been going on. So they got him on video. I think he was some sort of old businessman, but this is why people, it is very important. Stop conducting, and I know it's not all of them, because I see some of them posting stuff saying that it's not black folks attacking Asian. It said, like the report said, it is more white folks attacking Asian than black folks. And out of those black folks that are attacking them, the majority of them are immigrants. Okay? So, and I know, but this is why we have to stop conducting business with them. They will not understand until they start losing money. But let me share this with y'all. I've said this before. Now, y'all know how they think they can dominate the healthcare industry. And this brother did some research on them years ago in LA. And what they said was they have some kind of insurance policy where they said that if we were to boycott them, that they will wait us out, because they know we will come back. Well, you know what? It's going to be a long damn wait, because, well, one, I don't shop with you anyway. So you ain't getting my business. So just understand, people, these people, they have researched us. They think they know us. But see, when we did that thing in LA, and they thought we was going to go back to business as usual in 90 days. Hell, it was down near 10 years. It was the fight was still going on, and they didn't know how to deal with us. So we just have to stay focused and understand the goal that we want to reach, and we're going to reach it. I'll land with that.
Real talk. And if we did what these other communities do, the Cubans, the Jewish community, the Asians, the Latinos, if we took advice like Dr. Claude Anderson said, and we start actually getting together and start doing, and it doesn't have to be a large group, but in small little pockets, if we start actually exercising group economics, we could be independent of a lot of these different groups, but we refuse to do that. So until we start to do that, we're gonna constantly be the consumers, and we're not the producers of anything. So until we actually start practicing some kind of group economics, we're gonna constantly be dependent on these other groups that we know really the only use they have for us is our dollar. They don't have anything to do with us whatsoever, but except make money from us. So it's up to us as a people. We can't constantly keep sitting up here and complaining if we're not going to actually go ahead and do something. If you want to go ahead and be dependent on these same groups that can't stand you and they just only want to make money from you or this and that, look down at you, look at you like you're Lord and a dog, then fine, go ahead and don't change anything with what we've been doing. You can't blame anybody at this point. As Black Americans, we got to stop blaming other people. We got to start doing. We have the numbers. We have the population. We have even though our incomes might not be great, we can pull our resources together. But we have such distrust of one another that we just refuse to go ahead and do this. We at the mercy of these people right here. And until we go ahead and start investing in our own selves, our own people, we're gonna constantly be at the bottom of the totem pole. No matter who comes over in this country, they're gonna find a way to get ahead of us. And we haven't seen that. The last time we actually practiced this kind of group economics was back in segregation. We haven't done that since. And until we start to do that again, we're going to be lagging behind. So we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to make up our mind. Do we always want to be at the mercy of other groups, or do we actually want to be our own boss? And right now we're not there yet. It's sad to see. We could be there overnight if we actually made our minds up. Everybody wants, people see the way that the influence that we have as a group of people, but we don't want to go ahead and take that initiative. So we better do something fast and soon. Let me go ahead and kick it to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
Hey, what's up, Black family? Hope y'all all had a great weekend. News, DJ, Ray, what up?
What's up, man?
What up? So, you know what I do, News. I'm gonna put my Darth Vader headdress on. I'm going villain mode on you. So, I know that you and I want to say Sister Trouble earlier brought up a great point about how it's people underestimate how dangerous it is to present Black people as the face of anti-Semitism. 100% true. But like I say, I'm gonna go in villain mode. I know, including myself, we wanna run on top of the hill and plant our flag for Kanye West, and we want to defend our brother Kanye. But I'm gonna say this, and I've said this, I brought this up earlier. Kanye West went on Piers Morgan. Now, that is a show that's not only broadcast stateside, nationally, it's broadcast internationally, right? Kanye had he had the eyes and ears of literally the globe, right? Kanye West got on that man's show and said no one is more discriminated against than a straight white male. When you talk about the textbook definition of treason, that is it. That dude got on television and sold all Black people out, period. That is what he chose to do when they gave him that international platform. Now I'll say this. I would never, ever sell Black people out. I would rather God take my life and cast my name into oblivion before I ever sell Black people out. But I will say this about Kanye West. Whatever those white people do to Kanye, and y'all cannot like him, you can unfollow him, whatever those white people do to Kanye West, I promise you, I will not shed one tear when they get through with him. This dude constantly, he sets us up for the knockout punches, the jab. Oh man, yeah, he defending Black people. Look how he defending. Look how he talking about you. Bam, right hand to the jaw. The white man is the most discriminated against group in the world. Come on, man. Y'all really cannot still be flying a flag for this dude.
No. I'm not and I'm not. I didn't mean to cut you off, Black. I'm not flying the flag for him. Like I said, I told you before, I've never been a Kanye fan, not from his music, his political views, anything like that. I just think that, and I'm looking beyond Kanye West. I think it's dangerous when you sit up in this country right here and you're talking about an entertainer, who has mental issues, is the biggest anti-Semite in this country. That's my issue right there. Like, I'm not a Kanye fan. I've never been a Kanye fan, and I agree 100% with what you're saying, because we hear this from white men saying that same nonsense. To get up here and say something that the straight white man, you just a Tom to me, to be honest. So
to sell us out in front of the world, man. The whole world had eyes on you, and that's what you chose to say. So, and I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm eating, so I'm gonna fall back and listen. But you made an excellent point about we have to start trusting each other. I got a DJ in the room. He can testify for me. We chop it up so much in these rooms. We talk, laugh, get to know each other. And one day I wanted to pick DJ's brain. So I got on the DM and I gave DJ my real phone number. I do have a burner number that I give everybody else. I say, you know what, man? I trust this brother. And I gave DJ my real number, and me and him chopped it up for like 2 hours one day. So you made up a great point. We do have to start trusting each other. And not everybody is an Asian and some type of villain and all that. So, like I said, great point. I'm going to drop down and finish my food.
All right, bro. No problem. Appreciate you as always, Black Pressure. And let me go ahead and say this too. And this is kind of off topic. You guys might have missed it. I went ahead and tweeted out actual post from Newstoter, and it was about up there in Detroit. You had the Popeye, I think it was Detroit, but you had the Popeyes that was roach infested and whatnot. So I actually got an actual a reply to that post today from actual Popeyes and saying that was a independent franchise and this and that, and until they get up to their standards, it's going to be closed and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying, man. That even because I didn't expect that, I just tweeted out and I just hashtag Popeyes and got an actual reply from their actual the official Popeyes franchise That's what I'm saying, man. And y'all talking about we have power and stuff like that, but we just don't go ahead and we don't use it. We got to go ahead and start using our power and our influence. People can sit up here and laugh about social media and this and that, but this here is going to be the actual platform for the next 50 to 100 years of how people are going to be communicating. Right now, it's in its infancy. Okay. In the next 50 to 100 years, it might be something bigger than that, but in terms of how things, the radio and television and all this other stuff is going to seem so archaic when your grandkids are sitting around and stuff like that. We got to go ahead and start using it. We can bridge together gaps right now. It's people in this space right now that's from probably 20, 30 different states, 4, 5, 10 different states, cities, and everything else that we can go ahead and communicate with and start building with together. So we got to start using our influence and we got to start using our brains and putting stuff together, man. Let me go ahead and kick it to Leon. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Good evening here, Newstoter, Ray, DJ, Professor Trouble, his brother. What's going on, everybody? I didn't even bother entertaining Luke, so I'm not really going to speak on that. I saw the video clip of Godfrey. Damn, and I actually like that nigga too. But you know what? He showed his tetherness came out when he went against Marcel. I can't rock with that anymore. Because he was just being just an asshole about it. Excuse my language. And the Asian hate. If anybody didn't see my profile, I've been running them down since day one. That Miss Chu and the other Lee or whatever her name is started all that mess, and I've been posting stuff on nonstop, just running them down, because that's what we have to do. When these people get on these spaces trying to spew that hate, get in their accounts, run them down. You don't have to, don't curse at them, and don't try to say anything that could get your account blocked. Just run with the truth and just hammer the truth. Retweet in their profile the truth of how they are, and they ain't really much else they can really do to you because it's truth. So I mean that's all I had to say on that note. Oh yeah, and also that damn council guy DeLeon out there gripping up and choking on a activist that got in his face. His brother didn't even do anything. I don't know if y'all seen that. So,
yeah, I saw that.
That's another one we got to run down, get his blood out of the paint. I don't know why on earth he wants to stay up in that council. But after that, I hope the activists press charges against his butt. Maybe that might wake him up and say, hey, maybe he needs to finally step down. Get some criminal charges against him for aggravated assault. I'll land there.
You know, black people are only people in the world that go ahead and invite everybody into their culture and then cry when the people go ahead and take their culture and rip it off. They're the only people that go ahead and leave the door, open the door, and invite everybody in and with a warm welcome and whatnot. And when the people go ahead and take it and use it for how they want to use it, then they want to complain about it.
The ancient Egyptians.
Yeah, they black. They were black. They might not have been black Americans. Yeah, they black. You can't. I mean, there's a bunch.
They let Rome come in and learn everything and all the secrets. And 1,000 years later, it was all white.
Yep. Same way with black people in music and stuff like that. Hip hop. Not everybody. Not only that, black people let everybody come into hip hop and take it. And now the first thing out of these people's mouth when they talk about hip hop is that, okay, well, hip hop ain't black culture. It's the culture. It's everybody's culture. It's just nonsense stuff like that. Let me go ahead and kick it to Insane. Insane, go ahead and unmute your mic. Also, y'all, make sure you're supporting the New Black Media if you can. We need you guys to support us on Cash App, PayPal, Venmo if you can. If you have $1 that you could spare, if you have $2, go ahead and please support us. We need that support. We need that help as well, too. $ Newstoter. That is $ Newstoter. Insane, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I'm doing swell, man. I'm doing great. Glad to see the space, man. Hello to Ray, Kite, and shout out to everyone else in the space. And he's right. I think it was Black Pressure Chamber who was just speaking about Kanye a moment ago. When these people venture over into these known hostile spaces and they get caught out there like that, we just gotta let them go. We just gotta let them go, man. And some of you have been speaking about, the power of our monies, and just getting real harsh and minimizing our level of engagement with these other people who are openly hostile to us. We got to do that. They really can't really fully appreciate how serious we are about this, and wants versus needs really need to be clearly defined. I was in Philly about 3 weeks ago, man, and I'm at the point, and have been at the point that anytime I can spend a black dollar, I'll do that. But I noticed I was over someplace, Center City or someplace like that. I was able to purchase some things over there from some black women from a tailor shop. And I walked down the street, man, and there's still a lot of us engaged in the salons, man, a lot, heavy duty. And, people, progress and make changes as they become aware or as they find their way. But I think better use, we can always use social media, as you were saying, to our advantage. Barack Obama, showed that the world that, he largely came up through social media. So it's still much to be explored there. And, drilling down on better use of it on our part. And we're doing a phenomenal job, and we will get better. But, reaching these people who continue to engage, these other people, man, be it going to these Asian food stores still, I see people in my community doing it sometimes, and I just look at them really astonished, like, how can you be doing that right now? If you go in there and get your ass kicked, what do you want me to do if they whoop your ass in this restaurant? You know better. You know better at this point. And things are very, very crucial. So, when these people do these kind of things, if I'm on the scene and that happens, I'm saying, well, hey, you kind of got what you deserve. You know the deal. We should not be in these places. These people are hostile to us. They murdered 2 young black girls, and they get a hate crime bill. So why are you in their spaces? Really, tell me, why should I raise holy hell for you? And you know these things. So I think we really have to get to that space and remind these people when they venture out into again, it's one thing if we're walking down the street and we encounter some nut job. But when you go into these spaces, where these people are hostile and you get an ass whooping, what do you want from me at this point? We just have to get to that space so people can really fully appreciate that it's time to delineate, it's time to separate, and things are very, very crucial out here in this world for us. There's a target on our foreheads, men and women, children alike. So we have to really emphasize that as much as we can. And again, we are doing a very good job, but as with anything, there's always room for improvement. I'm glad to hear that you got a response from Popeyes. That says, hey, they recognize this guy has a media news platform and he's watching us. That's great, but that's because a lot of us here have been tweeting and retweeting your efforts to get the word out. So we're doing a great job. It's just that there's a lot of people who just do not want to be a part of the solution. So if they don't want to be a part of the solution, they need to be reminded that they're part of the problem. And I'll land my plane with that.
Real quick, we have some people trying to request to come up to speak. So if you guys are in the speaker section and you're not going to speak at this moment, please go ahead and drop down the listeners so we can go ahead and get some new speakers up as well too. So if anybody volunteers, can volunteer to go ahead and drop down. We appreciate that. I see Judge Sarah trying to come up. So let me go.
Me, please.
Who said that? Oh, okay, I see you. I got you. So okay, let's go ahead and we just got had insane. Let me Aunt Lie. You was next, so we're gonna go to Aunt Lie. Then we're gonna go ahead and get to we're gonna get to Chase. Then we're gonna get the Professor, Brother McCoo, Reeve, Riviera. We're gonna go ahead and get to you too. Riviera, you actually a new speaker, so I want to go ahead. I want to get all the new speakers and give them a chance to speak as well too. So after Aunt Lie, I'm gonna go ahead and push Riviera up there so we can get the new speakers up and give them a chance to speak as well too and be heard. Aunt Lie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
How y'all doing, everybody?
Hey, what's going on?
I want to say, I believe it was, and I tweeted him out. Was it Professor or Black Pressure? Black Pressure. God bless you, my brother. Like, you took the words right out of my mouth. You sound like my brother. You just said everything that I needed to say. And what I do want to say, I'm going to be really quick. I had a motion I won my motion, and I won my motion hugely. That's a word. Bigly. And I'm just excited. In my lawsuit to dismiss the I keep suing them. They filed a motion to dismiss it, and they lost. The judge ruled in my favor with my motion, and like the stuff they was claiming to try to get rid of my case. They was throwing everything at the kitchen sink. They was saying this doctrine, they were just saying a whole bunch of stuff to dismiss my case. And they wanted my case separate because they didn't want me to sue them because I'm already suing them in federal court. So now I'm suing them in federal, and the state lawsuit that I had against them, that is going forward as well. So I have 2 separate lawsuits against these racist bastards, and I'm holding them accountable, and I'm so excited about it. And I do want to pray for 2 people that lost their spouses, my sister-in-law and I believe LaTanja.
Yeah, absolutely. The child, and I'm sorry to hear about you, Aunt Lie, but also, yes, Sister LaTanja, I believe her husband passed away. So just keep that sister in your prayers if y'all could, and keep Aunt Lie and her family in your prayers as well too.
Thank you.
All right, Aunt Lie, you had anything else you want to add, sister, before we move on?
No, that's it. I don't know what's going on with Godfrey, Luke, and these Asian people, but I'm I ain't been in a good mood in so long. Like I'm in such a good mood because I want to actually put a copy of the motion because I believe everybody needs to read it and know what's going on with this case because the stuff that we're saying is really setting a precedent. And the fact that I sued them in federal court with no attorney, like. This is so huge, and I hate to have a big head because, I'm a Capricorn. I think I'm kidding. But the fact that people really don't understand, like, this is going to be broken. Like, what I did is so out of the box. What's being done is just so bigly big. It's just like, oh, my God. And it's just like, I can't even explain it. But they'll be able to explain it and, like, talk about it. Like, it's just huge. So the fact that I'm able to sue them in 2 different jurisdictions, because again, like a lot of times with the state question, they always say, well, that's just your state. That's not everybody. But I have a federal lawsuit that has to deal with the whole country. So it's literally setting precedents for every Black person in America, especially if your employer is discriminating against you. And then it's just huge. It's just huge. And I just thank God I was an opportunity to put myself out there, even though I don't want to be like, Harriet Tubman. I'm glad that he made it me to fight for people. So hopefully that they can understand that they can fight for themselves. So it's huge.
All right. Appreciate that, sister. And best of luck to you and good luck as well. And we support you here as well. So we'll definitely keep pushing behind to you as well, too. And I'm gonna holler at you, hit you up on the DM. I want to know if you ever heard from the people that did you hear anything yet? But I'll holler at you on the DM about that. Let me go ahead and kick it to Riviera. Riviera.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
I'm all right. Just getting off of work. I wanted to kind of add to what the last guy he was talking about. Why our women continually go to the Asian hair care, nail place, or salons, if you will, whatever you want to call it.
Can I interject? This is also the men too. I mean, everybody going to these restaurants, these nail salons. It's across the board. It's men and women. I just want to highlight that.
No, absolutely. And I can make a point about that. And I'm trying to be brief, man. So what I wanted to bring up, there's a guy on here. His name is Julian. Me and you, I've been on your stage before. I've been banned for a long time, man. I've been banned for about 7-8 months. But me and you have talked before. But anyways, what I wanted to highlight is this guy named King Sick or Julian. On Clubhouse, I had kind of learned about the Korean hair care industry in the 1970s. So if you guys, there's some articles, Korean hair care industry, you can Google it, Korean hair care industry takes over black hair market. And what happened was when we came back from Korea in the late 1960s, we went straight to Vietnam. And before that, 50s might have been Korea. And when the black vets went over into Korea, they highlighted in several ways. The white man said, they talk about Korean barbecue is the best barbecue. And he says, no, it is probably, but you know how it got to be the best barbecue is because black people went over there and gave them Korean barbecue. Before that, that was non-existent. They created that mixing our barbecue with their cultured food or whatever. So that's one. The second thing is they've had that industry from the 1970s to now, and we've continually. This isn't new, obviously. Same thing with police brutality is not new. Now that everything is on the internet, everybody and their mama can see it. Now it's a big deal. So another thing that I wanted to highlight was you see these women going in there because we've all heard that the white man ice cold. I'm telling you, man, I'm here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it might have been 4 or 5 years ago. These let me be nice. These suckers beat up some women, and the same black women in that same 60-person Peoria is where the area was. That's our inner city kind of neighborhood, our urban area. These suckers beat this girl over the head. I mean, badly. And the same girls went in there. They gave her a discount. They went right back in there. I can't tell you how many black women own the same kind of businesses out in North Tulsa. But what you'll hear is just like with the gentleman who I was going to work with that owns a marijuana dispensary here in Tulsa, black brother. And I guess he used to be a drug dealer. I don't want to go any further than that. And I kind of built a rapport with the guy, gentleman. And I remember telling him that, I could lay some flooring for him. And one of the things that I was going to do was put the epoxy down. And I was going to give him a decent price, but he didn't believe I was going to be able to do the job efficiently that the Mexicans were going to be able to do. So you're absolutely correct. It's on both sides. But what it boils down to at the end of the day is that white man's ice, the Mexicans' man's ice, the people that they see on a daily basis for the last 20, 30 years, 3 decades, right? They're so used to that and not seeing us in those trades or those industries that it's easier for them to go and do that. And that's the excuse. It's easy. We got people who will patronize our businesses, but what I would like to see is them suckers, be completely out of business. Or they could just, facilitate their own community like they were talking about with that thing, I guess it was some brothers in New York in the lower end, East New York or whatever, and they were talking about, I was watching the Black Authority, and he was talking about, you'll see that they'll say it's all occupied by Asians in a neighborhood that should be predominantly black. So if y'all want your own neighborhood, which we've known for years at New York, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Middle of nowhere. And I know that New York has multiple areas that are all different types of communities, cultures, and whatever. So why y'all need to come into our neighborhoods? And that's where I kind of just landed from.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Glad to have you speaking in the space tonight. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and kick it to Empress. Empress, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace, life, power, reparations, family. Hope everyone's being safe, have a productive and prosperous day. May that continue throughout the rest of this year. We're almost at the end. But I just wanted to speak to what the brother was saying in regards to, and whatever the conversation period is a little off topic, but in regards to what he was saying, about the nail salons and the beauty salons. Now, I make no excuses for the sisters and the brothers for still giving their money to these people. None at all. You have no excuse. They're everywhere. Get to looking. Stop being lazy is what I said. But number two is the distribution and the way that the Koreans have taken over, this has all been pretty much certified and by America. By America. America put the final seal on the deal to keep the Chinese out years ago. I can't remember the exact year, but this is absolute facts. There's a documentary about it on YouTube by Aaron, Aron Rainen, Ranen, and he talks about it. There's actually a brother. His name is Sam Enon. He's on Twitter, and he has been fighting this for years. For years. There's only two distributors of black beauty products in America, and they are Korean owned. You cannot get beauty supply products from no one else but them. They have it on lock. And Sam Enon has come in, and he has made it possible for Black Americans to get distribution of beauty supply. And I'm telling you, I know this for a fact because I know a sister in South Carolina who opened a beauty supply store, and she struggled. She struggled tremendously until I linked her up with Sam Enon, and now she's good. She's getting everything else. And not only that, when we make products, they go ahead and they duplicate those products. Like they've literally taken huge black-owned businesses. I can't remember the name of that business, BBB or something. It's old school business, but they literally are taking these businesses out of business because they are duplicating the products and saying, "No, we're good. We already got that." Because now they done made that product already, so they don't want yours anymore. And it's cheap trash. You can even ask hairstylists; they will confirm what I'm saying as well. But again, this is all by design, and this was the Koreans and America came together to lock the Chinese out. They were done. So this goes way, way back. So, we have to figure hopefully one day everybody get on, we get on a page and that'd be something else we need to tackle because, again, you have a lot of black women and black men out there who are wanting to open these beauty supply stores and they are struggling. But again, if you reach out to Sam Enon, he will help you. He's helped so many people that I've referred to him, and he will help you as well. And he's been fighting this for like 10, 15, 20 years, like a really long time. He's been fighting this single-handedly, and he's done a lot, and he still continues to do so much. So on that note, I'll land my plane.
Thank you, sister. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to see. It's definitely good to see. And I can say this right here. Beauty supply things are one thing, but and just in terms of like, stay out of these restaurants, man. This is what we need to have the mindset as black people. If we're going to deal with another group and we're spending all of the money and there's no, they're not doing anything in return, it's 100% they're getting something and we're not getting anything from them, then you got to kind of look at that relationship and say, hey, is this really worth it? We're sitting up here. Arabs don't do business with black people. For the most part, Latinos don't do business with black people. We know Asians don't do business with black people. White people barely do business with us. We had to go ahead and basically shut all our businesses down and go ahead and just be allowed to be a part of mainstream America. So, and we can't really do much with white people because they own the entire country. But these other groups here, we can do something about, and we need to do something about. We got to stop going ahead. This is just an uneven exchange of goods right here. I mean, this is almost like how the slave trade was when you had people over there selling other people for goddamn umbrellas and stuff like that in a bottle of rum. I mean, come on, man. Let's get our head together on this right here. We can't keep doing business with people who don't want to do business with us. All they want is our dollar. You don't have to go to these Chinese restaurants, okay? If they're not going to come to the soul food restaurant, and I don't consider you buying a rap CD as doing business with us, when that rap CD is, first off, the label is white owned, the distributor is white owned, the radio station that plays it is white owned, the TV that actually shows the video is white owned. So I don't consider you, and the black person that actually put the music out, he's probably getting a penny on something or whatever. So I don't consider that, a fair trade. So until we start using our heads and stuff like that, like I say, we're going to constantly be at the bottom. Let me go ahead and kick it to Chase. Chase, I know you've been waiting for a minute. Go ahead, Chase, and unmute your mic.
Oh man, that's fine, family. I just like being around us. There's 2 points I want to make. Family, this is a PSA. Stop playing nice. Okay? With that woman, that thread that she made, the things that she said, that tweet, the same thing with the Chinese guy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? That can be considered hate speech towards us. Start reporting these people accounts. Yeah, leave your comment and everything. Do y'all be wondering why? What be going on? And then, you kind of like get shadow banned and you're just a regular fucking person. You ain't nobody with a large platform. You hold these spaces. And you wonder why ain't nobody coming to you because they can't see your room. Stop playing nice and get down and dirty with these folks. It's okay to do that. Start reporting their accounts. Start reporting their tweets that they're making. When Luke has a room like this, start reporting his space. They're doing it to us. Okay? So go ahead, step in there, say your little shit, report the space. They're reporting your spaces. They got a whole petition saying that our folks are a fucking hate group. You think, well, why y'all do that? We're shocked at it. Why? Because we're playing nice. And it's like, hey, listen, something that needs to be addressed, and I think we stop at a certain point in our community. There is a big divide, whatever you want to call it, but there is a separation in our community. And, the apparent things is when we look at, like, Clyburn, get up there and make the statements he making, some of these black politicians, somebody like Kanye West. We call him a coon and be done with it, right? Okay. Now I want you to look at the other part. There is literally some of our own people that are walking around goddamn oblivious to the shit that's going on. They gotta be oblivious or willfully ignorant. And those are the people, man, I don't care what y'all niggas is going through. I'm going to get my nails done. Oh man, I don't know what's up. I'm getting ready to go get me some young cat rat dog today. You see? So I think we need to start bringing that up, and to our folks. And he was like, well, hold up, man. If you're patronizing these stores, then it was like, what do you call this? When y'all remember up there when the brother from the new Black Panther Party went in there to go check them people that was beating up on them sisters? What happened that next week? It's business as usual. Do you think them people, why are they doing that? See, we address the gaps and the divide in our community by calling out goons and everything, but we need to start calling out our folks that are still patronizing these stores, these restaurants, these hair and nail salons. You have absolutely, like the brothers and sisters brought up earlier, you have absolutely no reason to shop with these people. Okay? Stop playing nice. And I can pretty much see it. It's like, yo, we ain't fucking with the people like that. But it's just us. What about the rest of black society? We got to get at them too. Man, folks, start reporting these folks down because they're going to report yours. They tried to get my account suspended. And I just made this little simple statement. They was talking about Elon Musk, about things is going wrong with Twitter since he took over. And you got all these white folks big up in them. And I was like, well, see, that's what happens when you put an African American in charge of some shit. They tried to get my account suspended over that. But it was the goddamn truth. See how they're playing? They take the little simplest shit. Yes, I was being an ass. Yes, I was trolling. But it was the truth. But they tried to turn around and be like, yo, man, you have to review this. You got to appeal this. Stop playing nice with these folks. And, man, we got to start getting more of our folks, man, and somehow bring them to the light. And I think what's happening is that we haven't reached the critical mass. It's just us. I land my plane on that to y'all, family.
In the Jumbotron, y'all, I put up the actual the second to the left I put in there the actual response that Popeyes put in there. If you guys get a chance, go ahead and check it out and read the actual response that Popeyes sent me back, responding to the actual the restaurant. When I tweeted out that actual post, shout out to Black Enterprise. It was curated on the Newstoter.com platform. Like I say, and if y'all don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep drumming it up. Newstoter.com is the largest the largest Black American owned news curation platform today in America. Okay, the largest. So that's why we need your support. We need to go ahead and get this out. Luckily, Popeye saw it. And I'm going to read this real quick. We're going to get back to our listeners. It says this was about the actual tweet. I went ahead. The original tweet was Roach infested Detroit Popeye shut down over DoorDash video. And they came back with their response and said, this is completely unacceptable. This restaurant was run by an independent franchisee and has been shut down until it can provide our guests with the Popeye standard and the service they deserve. I also responded to that and I let them know, like, yeah, you know that we spend our hard-earned money, so we deserve to have better service and a clean restaurant as well. And then I also sent them something else too, and I want to know what initiatives does Popeye do for Black Americans, considering that Black Americans make up a huge chunk of their actual economics. You know, I know y'all can remember a few years ago they had the Black lady Annie on TV, and I know a lot of people didn't like that they had Annie on TV doing a little fried chicken commercials, but nonetheless, she was on there. So we got to go ahead and start using our clout, and we got to go ahead and start using our power, man. And we got to go ahead and start using our reach, and that's why the Black media, and like I said, everybody in this space is part of the Black media. Newstoter is just the actual the chamber, but you guys are the actual ammunition in the actual barrel. You're the ones that make it go. All the content in the world don't mean anything if our people don't go ahead and they're not receptive to it. So the actual Black media is the actual people itself. Newstoter is just a control center or whatever. You guys are the ones that actually have to make this thing go. So that's why when we tweet stuff out, post things and stuff like that, it's vital at times. You know, it's very vital. You see the stories that are posting daily. News, education, lifestyle, culture, entertainment as well too. Posting all of that stuff. We need you guys to go ahead and respond. We need you guys to go ahead and support us. That's why we need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's in the Jumbotron. We need you to subscribe to the actual newsletter. That's in the Jumbotron. We need you, even if you have $1. Everybody's pissed off about Deion Sanders leaving. Everybody has something to say about Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State and going to Colorado. Everybody has something to say. Yet when we ask our Black people, like, hey, if you can you go ahead and donate $1 a week to us? You know, everybody is crickets. You can't hear anything. Say just $1. If you have $1, if you have $1 that you can donate a month, can you go ahead? It's crickets. So you can't get upset about Deion Sanders for trying to go ahead and look after his family and look after himself and whatnot. This man took his money and he gave half of it. He donated it back to the university. He was out there cutting the damn grass out there at the university. He was paying for meals and bus lodging and everything else at the university. And allegedly, I do say allegedly, I thought about having a space about that. Allegedly, there's been even talk that some of that money could have possibly been siphoned from Jackson State. And I say allegedly siphoned from Jackson State's football program to other things in the actual school and stuff like that. So before people start going ahead pointing the finger and talk about, well, you need to go ahead and support Black people. And Black people need to go ahead and support as well too. Okay. Black people got to go ahead and support as well too. Let me give a shout out to Emmanuel as well for your contribution on Cash App. You can't always just point the finger and say that this person's not doing this person's not doing that, when that person is doing stuff like that. So everybody was quick to blame and calling Deion a sellout and this and that or whatever. I know that's a little bit off target and stuff like that, but Black people, they love to point the finger and say this and that. That's why I say you got to go ahead, man, and sometimes you got to start putting your money where your mouth is. You had Elijah Muhammad told you years ago. Dr. Clyde's been telling you, you're going to have to come together as a people. If not, then just do a favor and just shut up and just take it like you've been taking it for the past 50, 60 years. Just sit down there and keep getting ran through. Don't say anything about it. Stop complaining and whining. Black people always talk about how influential they are and how they're the coach and everybody in the world copies them. Well, yeah, that's great. But you know what they don't copy about black people? They don't copy us financially. They might copy us in terms of entertainment, running with a football or acting or something like that. But they're not sitting up here. That ain't nobody trying to copy us financially. Nobody's trying to copy us financially or educationally either. Think about that. I know a lot of people might not like what I'm saying in this space, but oh well. They're not trying to copy us. They might want to copy the way somebody slam dunks a ball or run for a touchdown, or the way somebody can drop a lyric or something like that, but they're not trying to copy us financially. And they should be. We should be an economic engine ourselves. We don't need everybody in the world. We don't need these kumbaya moments. The same thing the Asians doing, even with the hatred that we get from the United States government and the way they've been kicking it and sticking a knife in our back, we still can overcome white supremacy if we stand together. We don't want to stand together. Let me go ahead. Also, let me thank Dana. Dana, thank you for your contribution as well, too, sister. I definitely appreciate that. Let me go ahead and kick it to BW. Actually, you haven't had a chance to speak, so BW. Then we're gonna hit Professor and DJ. Go ahead, BW. Unmute your mic.
Oh, good evening, everybody. You know, I agree with that guy. We need to, whoever spoke previously to me, I agree with him. We need to call people out. We can't let nobody slide, even our own people who's foolish and just go along with anything and still on this kumbaya nonsense. You know, I don't know what's going on with our people. It just messed up. I have never seen so many cowards in my life, ass kissing people in my life. It's just amazing. You know, I also had talked about how before how we don't support each other like we're supposed to. You know, one of these people on the spaces talking about yes we do, and they got mad at me. It's like that's what I'm saying. People mind is messed up out here, and I know that the Asian people. I never been to their shop. And then when I was trying to tell people, you know, a lot of people who go to these shops, they like to make up excuses. Oh, it's convenient. You know, all kinds of stuff. I say, well, everybody that come there got a car. It can't be that darn convenient because it's always nail shop ladies, black, in these office buildings. And I be telling this one guy about it because I guess he got his girlfriend going there. I don't know. And I was telling him this is on one of these spaces. All thing he had to say, all Asians ain't bad. See, we look at we always justifying other people's behavior that's treated us wrong, which to me it's almost like a form of mental illness or something. People like being abused or something. We look at people like on an individual basis because they nice to you, but they don't look at us like that. They put us in a group, and when they come after us, they chastise us all. They don't say, "Oh, all black people don't." It's not like that. They don't care, and we need to think like that too. I even gave him suggestions. Get on the internet to look for black business, and what he say, anybody got time for that? So they just brainwash. So they just beyond help some of our people. And because I've been trying to do the same thing that we're talking about now for the longest, but people seem to not get it, and I don't know what's going on with them mentally. But I do want to ask you, what happened with Luke? Because I didn't hear nothing about Luke and Godfrey.
Yeah, with that being said, sis, Luke, we've been telling him, well, I know I've been screaming it since I got back on Twitter. While you got this bohemian dude talking about black freedom and reparations. And Godfrey, damn, I thought you was on cold like a mug too, man. You know what I mean? Fuck with my homegirl, Digger, Brick City in the building. But damn, you a tether room, Godfrey. So, it is what it is. Sis. And obviously these Asians, they want to be us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I want to say.
No problem, sis. As always, appreciate having you in the space. As always, let's go ahead and kick it to Professor.
Can I say one more thing real quick? So, Sister BW, what you got to do with our people is slow walking. So, if you want to try to find a better way to get our peoples to buy black, there's a sister by the name of Maggie Anderson. She's right here on Twitter, and she goes by the ad name R Black Year, R Black Year. So Maggie Anderson, look her up, and I'll try to post it to the tribe. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it.
We really need this bad. We got to do it.
Also, who was it? Empress. I wanted her to put the link of the actual the hair salon that they were talking about. Like, let's go ahead. If there's a black-owned business, let's go ahead and put that in the jumbotron. If there's any black-owned businesses in terms of hair salons and stuff for the sisters, let's go ahead and try to get them some get them as much attention as possible. Let's go ahead and so our sisters can go ahead and start going and supporting these actual these hair salon businesses and stuff that's, you know, that we don't have to worry about always going outside of the community, outside the neighborhood, nail shops, any of that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and start supporting these sisters. Empress, I see you back up here. So if you have a link, please go ahead. So some of the sisters can go ahead and, you know, if they're in that area, they can go ahead and support it as much as possible.
Oh, you talking about the my friend in Rockhill, South Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you, brother.
And then also, like, if there's any hair salon, if there's any suppliers and stuff with beauty care and stuff that, you know, that ship nationally or whatever, we need to go ahead and start trying to get them some attention as well too. So like our sisters can go ahead and order this stuff offline, and, you know, maybe they're in California, but the person might be in Tennessee, but hey, they're shipping the products out there. They can go ahead and buy that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and do what we can to go ahead and support black-owned business as much as we can. Let's see who's next. I believe Professor and then Brother McCoo. Before that, let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging. I see he's up here right now. So Mr. Engaging, go ahead. You're a new speaker. I want to go ahead and let you get in here. Go ahead, Mr. Engaging.
Hey, what's up, big brother? Newstoter. I gotta push back on the black people on financial. A lot of people follow Dr. Claude Anderson, and even people outside of our group or outside of our lineage, and has actually took his knowledge and actually used it in their neighborhoods and were kind of successful. And one of the books I will refer to is Powernomics. And some of the communities I would point to would be like the Indian community and the Mexican community, specifically them two. So they do follow us when it comes to financial. We don't listen to our best and our brightest leaders when it comes to our financial advice. So I have to push back on you on that, brother.
I'm saying that on a large scale. I mean, let's be for real. Yeah, you may have some people that's taking what Dr. Claude said in some of these other groups, I'm saying, but there's not the people idolize black athletes. They idolize black entertainers. Nobody's idolizing them. You may have some people that go ahead and they're taking what Dr. Claude Anderson said, but nobody's idolizing the actual financial concepts that a lot of these black economists and people of that nature are saying like that. So I know you're giving a little pushback, but I'm going to give you a little pushback right there. Like, nobody's looking, they don't look at Dr. Claude Anderson like they do Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan or Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders or Tupac when he was alive, or Biggie or Michael Jackson. That's what I'm talking about. Like that, you see the way hip hop has gone globally. You know, people and coaches and stuff right there that really can't stand black people having karaoke, doing hip hop contests and this and that or whatever, dressing like black Americans, talking like black Americans. No, we don't financially have that kind of impact on people in terms of how people they want to idolize us financially. Like entertainment wise, yeah. Culture wise, yeah. I would even say the way how we dress and everything, our fashion sense and everything like that. Yeah. But financially, yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of get that pushback as well, bro.
Okay, I see if you put it in that context. I was just more or less looking at. I'm never gonna turn shade to our brightest minds that put some of the that actually put us into certain better financial standpoint. And like when I look at Dr. Claude Anderson, look at Dr. Darity, when I look at like other than some of the other great economists that came before us, brother, I just can't say that I just can't say it full heartedly like that. Like, that's all. I'll leave it like that.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm saying we as a people, we're not taking that. We're not taking what Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm not talking about small trinkets of black people. I'm saying we're not the Nation of Islam, whether you're a Muslim or not, whether you agree with all their principles and stuff like that. We're not taking it, and we're not building the way that these people build and stuff like that as a whole. Yeah, you may have certain demographics, very tiny fractions of us actually doing that. But on a large scale, how many black people do you know really doing group economics? How many tens of thousands of black people throughout this country really doing group economics?
Not on that level the way that they ought to, honestly.
And that's all I'm saying right there. Until we get to that level, we are behind enemy lines. We're in unfriendly confines. Okay, we got a lot of ground to make up. And the way that things are going with the economy, the way the prices are skyrocketing, the way land and everything, how expensive it is, to actually stand a chance in this country for the future, we're gonna have to really start looking into that. Okay, we need to be able to. Dr. John Henry Clark said that we need to go ahead and be able to make our own underwear and own shoes first and foremost. We need to be able to feed ourselves. You know, we need to be able to clothe ourselves. We need to be able to give ourselves shelter. We need to be able to educate ourselves. You know, we don't. How many black owned hospitals in these major cities do we have? We got to start looking at this kind of stuff. This stuff doesn't just fall out the sky into our lap. And we can't sit up and talk about white supremacy. We know white supremacy. White supremacy ain't going to do a damn thing for us. And they sure not going to go ahead and try to find a way to even things up. They keep putting these laws and stuff into place. I'm saying, though, we as a people, we're strong enough now that even with white supremacy and the way it's going to knock us, we still could stand tall and we still could go ahead and do things even in the face of all of the adverse things that we're going to see. But we won't do that. We won't do that, and it's hurting us as a people. You know, we talk about the anti-Asian and stuff like that. Let them go ahead and keep Chinatown and their restaurants, and let us go ahead and create chocolate cities and things of that nature. Okay, I guarantee you, you have a chocolate city with your culture, your music, your fashion, everything going on. You have all these other groups coming there. You know why? Because even in the deep South, when you had segregation and stuff like that, you had a lot of these white boys coming into these areas listening to blues and stuff like that. They had to hit a nigga music. You can still go ahead. You'll still have people going ahead doing this right here. We got to go ahead and take care of home first and foremost. Let me go ahead and kick it to Professor.
Let me jump in there real quick.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, Black Pressure, I'm trying to bring you up. I don't know what's up with your phone, bro.
Oh, I don't even see him requesting.
Yeah, he must be stuck in the thing. Let me try to deny it. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Go ahead, Professor. Go ahead, DJ.
No, I just want to say, Mr. Engaging, I definitely understand what you're saying, but nobody, like you said, in our lineage tribe has tried to implement powernomics. I understand the rhetoric 100%. OG wrote the blueprint, but it was, I want to go, and I hate to do this to the OG, but this, when we talk about accountability, right, and building up these black businesses, I'm with all that. So Yvette Carnell, right, a lot of folks is bugging her like, yo, won't you, Dr. Claude, do a like a space or whatever, you know what I mean, a live or whatever. So no from Yvette's side, right? And then, she just, know how she is. She is going to get the receipts and just do what she do. That's why I call her Thanos. She snap her finger and make motherfuckers disappear. Real shit. That's why I call her Thanos. So at the end of the day, she did a video on Dr. Claude, and this is why a lot of so-called other white media is saying, "Oh, you disrespecting Dr. Claude Anderson." No, she actually made a valid argument. If Dr. Claude took out a loan from a black bank for that fish market he was supposed to have set up in Detroit, and the business went under for whatever the reason, don't even matter what, you know what I mean? You didn't pay the loan back to the black bank, and the equipment was, well, I ain't even gonna get into all that. You just didn't pay the loan back to the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and real quick on that though, we don't know if he ever eventually paid that loan back. We don't know if maybe he.
I'm gonna get to the allegedly part. Yeah.
We don't know if he may have filed bankruptcy too. So let's just,
No. I'm I'm saying? I know the gist of the detail. It was none of that, though. You see what I'm saying? But I'm still say allegedly for context purposes because he ain't up here to defend himself. You know what I'm saying? But nothing was ever really said of that because Dr. Claude didn't say anything about it after that video. I know he had to saw it because that shit was real. You know what I'm saying? And it's still up there on our channel too for those that want to go look at it. But I'll yield right there.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that video. I was live in the chat during that time frame. I'm fully aware of that. I really think that is something that that she should have hit the brother up on the phone about instead of making a YouTube. But that's just my opinion.
And I agree with you on that too. She could have went ahead and not had to air that out. Went ahead and handled that privately, and then that would have been the classy thing to do.
Yeah, but Dr. Claude Anderson, he's the last one of our greats. He's the last one of our greats, and he's on. We need to just keep that brother in prayer, man. We need to uplift our elders and get as much information because when they go, they're gone, and all they have is their work to leave behind. So it's just something for us to think about.
Real talk. Let me go ahead. I know, Professor. I know you was waiting. I'm gonna get the brother McCool as well. So, Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, thank you, there, brothers. Been listening, man, and everybody's bringing us some very good points about the whole, stop going into these Asian salons and trust me, y'all, I live in Alabama. I see a lot of sisters going to these salons, and I be like, man, these sisters just don't understand. This is not good. Go to somebody that looks like you, because as long as you keep giving your money to somebody that obviously don't like you, don't care for you, hate you. And most likely, I don't know if anybody's ever thought about this, but when you're sitting in these chairs and those women or even the men doing your feet or whatever they call themselves, doing pedicure, manicure, they talking in a different language, right? Have you ever thought about they might be calling you the N-word in the Asian language? Whatever Asian language that is, Japanese, Chinese, and you just sitting there smiling. They just sitting there saying, damn nigga. I mean, that's something for you to think about. See, go to somebody that is foundational Black America. There's plenty Black women that know how to do pedicures and manicures. Trust me, I know a lot of sisters around here where I live at that can do hair. I mean, hell, our sisters can do it all, man. Give your money to the sisters. All right, I'm gonna get off that right there. Now, meanwhile, Black family, it's time for us to handle some business. Up in that jumbotron, I'm gonna do the art thing. How many of y'all know art of appeal, right? Y'all know they do art. If you're all up in these spaces talking about the jumbotron, that's what I'm gonna do today. In the jumbotron, you will see Reparations Rally 2023, Juneteenth. All right? Juneteenth. Remember that in Washington, D.C., at the National Mall Amphitheater. Yes, everybody, make your presence be felt. Make your presence be known. That this is about telling those folks that we're going to cut the check. That y'all going to cut the check. Because you cut checks for Ukraine. You cut checks for the Jews. You have cut checks for the Asians. You have cut checks for Native Americans. You have cut the check for everybody except the people that you should be cutting these checks for. That's right, and that's us, Foundational Black Americans, a.k.a. Black American freedmen. Hey, some people might even refer to us as ADOS. Depends on what you want to call yourself. You might even want to call yourself a Negro. You might want to call yourself an African American. You might even want to call yourself, well, I'm Darth Vader. There you go, Darth Vader. That's what I am. But whatever you want to call yourself, if you're all about lineage based, because that's what we are striving for here, folks. Lineage based. We're not on this other stuff where other groups can come in and claim anything. We all about we have gone through here, our ancestry here in the United States, chattel slavery. This is what we are on. Lineage based, okay? Come here to that rally knowing that this is about us, foundational Black Americans, not about any other groups coming along trying to tag in. If you're not on that, then don't come. Do not show up there talking about some other shit, okay? We are on lineage based. That's it. And I want y'all to understand that the more we have there, the more of us that are there, the more noise we're going to make, and that we're going to show these people that we mean business. Because this is what it's all about, y'all. This is about cut the checks, cut these checks, okay? Also, I want y'all to know that as of right now, and this will be updated as time goes, because you know that's in June of 2023. The National Assembly of American Slavery Descendants is one of the organizations that would be there. As you know, they've been working on some of the reparations proposals out there in California. Also, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. I think right now it's just the two of them. Right now, these are the two organizations that are on the list to show up. That list will be updated. Go to reparationsrally2023.com. You will see all the information. The contacts, you can look under contacts. You see all the different lists of people that you can contact within your region. There's the Southeast, there's the Northeast, there's the Southwest. All these different names are in there. I'm one of those names that's in the list, by the way, for the Southeast. As a matter of fact, we got a very lovely sister. I think she's in this space right now, Black Native. She's on that list. I saw some other names. I'm trying to do names by memory. So, but go to the website, check it all out. You'll see everything. You'll see even the planning committee. You'll see all of that. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be big. This is something that's going to take place in June of next year. Save up, be ready. It's going to be educational. It's about business, but it's also about us bringing the family together that we have gathered right here on these spaces. Many times I have gotten to know a lot of you, and y'all are my brothers and sisters, the extended Black family. Because remember, in slavery, a lot of our family members were sold off to other places, the other plantations. So many times Black Americans had to make families. That's what we're doing here, y'all. We have made a family right here on Twitter space. Amazing, isn't it? And I have connected with people that are like mine. That's what this is all about, y'all. Connecting with people that are like mine. Amen, amen. All right, I'm going to land my plane now. Thank you, Newstoter, for giving me the opportunity to talk with the people about this. And we will be bringing more updates as time comes.
As always, brother, as always, glad to have you. Judge Sarah, I know I'm going to get to you, Brother McCoo. Let me get to Judge Sarah. She hasn't spoke tonight. Judge Sarah, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter, thank you. I was going to be patient and wait because you know I go on my tangent. Anyway, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about, because I listen and I try to respond to the things that I hear. And what I heard you say is we need to stand together. So my purpose in life is to liberate Black people. It's for Black people to have harmony amongst us and in our lives. That's my long-term goal. You'll see I'll get emotional because I'm struggling with how to do it. I'm sorry, give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to come back to you, sister?
No, I'm gonna come. I just want to say, with me, I love Black people, and I don't want to offend anybody. So, I'm a corporate woman. My corporate environment, I don't pull no punches. I say what it is, how it is. That's how I move. But with Black people, I'm aware and loving because I know this world is against us. Not just this country, this world is against Black people. And I'm trying to figure out how this have continued for so many years when there's so many intelligent, hardworking, loving people. And so it's one of the things I've kind of noticed is that when you say stand together, Newstoter, I think sometimes we don't know how to actually stand together. I come to this room and I love y'all. I swear to God, I love y'all. I know y'all get mad at me. And I'm going to tell you who I am. You get mad at me, but I'm still fuck with you. You can get mad at me. I'm not perfect. You get mad at me. I'm not mad. I don't think that some of us know how to stand together. And I'm going to give you an example. Kanye West is on my nerves, y'all. I'm like, what is he doing now? I'm not going to throw Kanye West under the bus because Kanye West is a Black man and I love Black people. Kanye West is a typical Black man who was raised by his mother trying to swim in a world that tells him he's nothing and he's nobody. I think Miss Taxation told me that he had a brain injury. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And he's an entertainer. He likes to get attention. And with that said, priests in the Catholic Church have been raping altar boys as long as we can remember. Jews are doing things to their kids. When do you see them calling their people out? When do you see? You think the other man don't do shit all day, every day? They drunks. I know. Okay? They do shit way worse than we do. Trust me, I know because I see them. Okay? But you don't see them calling each other out. And I love y'all. Understand you want to call your people on the carpet, but more importantly, we have to learn to get together. See, I'm going to build the Black Party, and my foundation is I got to coach my people on how to have values for each other, love each other. I'll say something that someone don't like, and they'll unfollow me. I'm like, well, they unfollow me. I hurt my feelings. Because I say something you don't like, you don't want to fuck with me no more? When you know, if you know me, I'm here for us. I'm gonna rock with us. This shit keep me up at night is how I'm going to liberate my people and have them living on harmony. I think on the masses, at least half of Black people in America don't understand harmony. Harmony is when you get up, you go to work, and you live a harmonious life. We're not living that life, and I'm not looking outside myself for that. I'm not looking for Asians to save me. I'm not looking for someone to take care of me and make my group, my family, Black people better. We have to do it together. We have to have values for each other. And I'm so sorry I get so passionate about it because it's really easy. It's simple. The concept. It's just we just stick together. You understand what I'm saying? And if we could do that, they can't permeate us. And I'm on land because I have a lot on my mind. Because what I look at is I look at Jewish people. And I see how they get together. I'm like, well, how are they persecuted? And they had all these things happen to them. But they still have the values and the concept to put themselves first. Why is that not happening with us? And I realized with slavery, with different tribes and different ideas and different people and different groups. Because honestly, you guys, I'm trying to solve this problem. Okay, I'm not in the mind that I'm not an I can't do kind of person. I'm not an it ain't gonna work. I can't bring everybody with me. I don't think like that. I think like I want to see my people be happy and prosper, and I want everybody on the bus. So what I'm saying to y'all is, please be mindful. Don't get so mad and angry when your brothers and sisters are not doing or saying what you think they should say or do. Try to show them with love instead of being angry and aggressive, because I don't think that's going to encourage them. I think it's going to make them more resistant, because it's what I see in this country is the world telling us we're bad and we're not good enough. And I know that interferes with our psyche. And, I apologize for getting on my tangent. I just am really desperately trying to find a solution for all of us. And I'm going to do the best that I can. So I'm going to land there. I appreciate you, Newstoter.
Okay, sister, thank you. Well, Brother McCoo, he was up here, but he must have Must have fell off. So we're gonna let anybody that wants to go ahead and get a last word in there go ahead because we're gonna be closing the space out in a second. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Judge, look, we understand, or let me just speak for myself. I won't speak for all the Black American family in here, but I understand what you're saying. And look, I agree with you. That's why I haven't been on Kanye, because there's been times I've been wanting to go hard at Kanye.
He on my nerves, Professor. He on my nerves.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yes. But y'all have heard me tell my personal story about my mom, and of course I talked about Kanye's mom. Me and Kanye can relate on these two issues. Called he lost his mom all of a sudden. I lost my mom all of a sudden, and so this is why I have not gone as hard on him. And not that I don't think he should be out here hanging with the so-called white nationalist supremacist type people. I think that's going way out there because that's not going to do any good. We don't need to be hanging with anybody like that. But it's almost like he's going through some mental breakdowns and he's trying to find himself. He's trying to. I think he wants somebody to reach out to him, but he wants somebody. You know, you want somebody that you can trust, that can come to you, that you can talk with about your issues. I'm concerned about the well-being of this man's mindset, and as a matter of fact, not just his, but for all of my Black American family, because I know how the system of white supremacy has broken us all down. Yes, Lord, it has. And I'm telling you, folks, the only way that we can get through the system is that Black Americans are going to have to stick together. In other words, you can't go out here dogging out another fellow Black American. Because guess what? White people don't be out here dogging out these other folks. If you notice, I don't know if y'all ever watched the video. Y'all ever watched these videos, these Karen videos? Just the videos that we all see where white folks are cutting up out in a store somewhere or just out in a park somewhere. And guess what? It'd be the other white folks out there, right? Do y'all see any of these white folks calling those white folks out when they be cutting the buck out there? Have y'all ever noticed that? They don't say shit, do they? Nah, they don't say that. They don't jump in and say, hey, you need to stop jumping on them damn black folks. What's wrong with you? They don't do that. They stand there. They just stand there and look. And they'll shake their head maybe. But they don't do anything. So look, Black American family, when you see one of our folks maybe, acting bad or cold or whatever, don't call them out. Now, if you want to call them out or go behind closed doors and do it. See?
Exactly.
Have y'all not noticed that's what white folks do? I've been picking up on this game for years. My mom told me this, y'all. White folks don't call each other out, man. We the only group that's been doing this shit, y'all. But the judge just said it was 100. We the only group that do it. Why? Why is Black America the only group that do it? I want y'all to ask yourself that tonight while you in your bed. Why are we the ones doing it?
No, you guys, I love y'all. It's because we don't know how. It has to do with we working. Many of us our parents were working, and we were trying to put food on the table and to try to navigate problems. These are some of these values we didn't learn. I'm gonna tell you how I learned. I'm very inquisitive and I pay attention. I worked in corporate America, and I got to know white people, and then they would confide in me about who they didn't like in the office, who they couldn't stand. But you would never know it. They would never talk. You would never know that they had issues with each other because they didn't talk about it. They didn't call each other out in meetings like we do.
Okay, here's the only thing, and I don't want to make this a Kanye space because, like I said, we're going to be closing this out in a second. But let's not forget that, like a Black person said earlier, Kanye sits up there and he in front of these white people and talk about, that white men are the ones who have it the hardest, that they're the ones being discriminated against the most and stuff like that. So as a Black man hearing another Black man sit up here, especially a Black man who's a damn billionaire, sitting up here talking about white men who control it, not only this country, but the entire world, sitting up here talking about that they have it the hardest and they're the most discriminated against and this and that. That's a problem there. To sit up here and talk about that black people, basically wanted to be slaves and that kind of nonsense that he sits up here and talk about. A lot of things that black people say, we as black people, we don't say anything about. A lot of times, I mean, not all of us, but a lot of times we hear stuff other black people say, and we just, okay, yeah, we just kind of shrug it off. But to sit up here and kiss white ass up here the way he does at times, sitting up here with all white lives matter t-shirts and hanging out with all these alt-right fools and stuff like that. Well, you know that they have nothing but vitriol to black people, especially black men, and to sit up here and co-sign that kind of stuff. Yeah, as a black person, we have a problem with that kind of stuff. Kanye could just sit there and shut his goddamn mouth and everything will be everything, but he can't do that. He's a spoiled, content little brat who always had to be the center of attention. I don't give a damn if he's bipolar or not. He's always had to be the center of attention from the first time he came out and whatnot. He's sitting up here and getting worse up here. You married to Kim Kardashian, these white women, and you're sitting up here running your mouth talking about black people this and black people that or whatever. So yeah, we have an issue. People, when a lot of black people, when Bill Cosby and them had their issues and stuff going on, a lot of us just sat quiet, didn't say anything, whether they thought he was guilty or not. Same with OJ. A lot of black people sat up there. A lot of people felt that OJ did do it and still wanted OJ to get off. But Kanye sitting up here with these damn alt-right people up here, sitting up here talking about how hard these white boys got it, how these white boys are being discriminated against, and how unfair it is for them and this and that. Like, man, we don't have time for that kind of nonsense. I mean, you just been a Sambo.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Newstoter.
Well, yes, sister, I am. As a black man, I do feel that way. I feel any black man sitting up here with Piers Morgan, somebody who tried to ruin Michael Jackson, tried to tarnish his reputation, did everything in the world to throw him under the bus. You sitting up here in front of this British asshole sitting up here talking about how hard these white boys got it and how how they being discriminated against more than anybody in the damn country, which is nonsense, and it's nonsense. And you sitting up here saying that kind of stuff. You sitting up here talking about black people, and you sitting up here talk about George Floyd and this and that, the way he died and stuff like that. Yeah, I have an issue with that. I have a real issue. I have a real problem with that.
And I'm sorry, and I don't want to discredit how you feel. I just want you, because Professor said it on the note, he's not okay, Newstoter. And that's what you're talking about, someone who's not sane. You got
Newstoter, that's what I was saying.
He's not okay.
He has mental breakdowns, man.
He's not okay.
He's going through stuff. Yeah.
He's not okay. And I also want to say this to y'all, because a lot of people, and maybe we can continue this conversation in another space, but a lot of times y'all think that people who are wealthy or have more are not, they're immune to this racism. And I want to tell you they're not. They're affected by it more. I move in these spaces. I got friends who are doctors. Y'all said all these different things about industries that we don't have. It's an organization called Jack and Jill. It's a philanthropic organization, and it's all well-to-do black people. And I have friends that are on there, and they talk about when they go to restaurants and they're treated differently, and their kids don't want them to act a fool or say something about being treated unfairly or not right. Let me tell you, they always remind you who you are. I know people in the industry, in fashion industry, that knew Kanye, and they will always say derogatory, negative, nasty things about him. I just want you guys to know that he's not around white people, and they're acting like he's everything. They remind him that he's black. Trust me, they remind him that he's black every day, all day. And I don't want to take away from how you feel as a black man. I know he's acting a fool, so I don't want y'all to think that I don't see. To me, he's like a kid. He's like my little kid, like, come here, what are you doing now? He's a child in his mind, what I see. But he black first for me. Okay, you guys? And I appreciate what you're saying, Toda, and I don't want to discredit that. For me, he's black first. All the other stuff, he's not okay. That's the problem that I don't get. It's like, he goes on all these news organizations, he acts a whole fool. How do we not see that he's not okay? He's not mentally all right. And I can't say anything more than that.
All right, let me go ahead. I know we got no taxation and we got Black Native up, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you two ladies go ahead. Matter of fact, no taxation, Black Native, Original, Mr. Engagement Original are going to be the last 4 speakers for the night. So everybody, those are the last 4 speakers. If you do request to speak, I'm going to go ahead and have you for the next Twitter space tomorrow. We'll go ahead and get you on, but we're going to go ahead and close this thing out soon. So let me go ahead and let No Taxation, Black Native, Mr. Engagement Original go ahead and get the final say in.
Thank you, Newstoter. I really enjoyed this one. I think this is one of the more important spaces that you had. You always have important space, but relevant to today because there's so many differing opinions out here, and we need to be able to have those different opinions. Let me just say this. If I'm going to lean on one side, because 2 things can be right at the same time. If I'm going to lean on the side, I'm going to have to lean on your side when it comes to who needs to keep our name out of their mouth. And Kanye certainly needs to do that. And the other thing I want to say, I want to push back a little bit with the judge. Well, first I want to say this, Judge. It's a lot of strange stuff going on Twitter. And it happened, I think probably 2012, 2013. The same things are going on. People that may follow you and you follow them, you can find yourself unfollowed or they unfollow you. I don't know where that glitch in the system is, but there's a glitch there. I remember there's a guy out in Baltimore that I knew personally, and we followed each other on Twitter. And I went over to his timeline to see what he was talking about one day, and I was blocked. And I called him up and I said, "Why did you block me?" And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Check." I said, "You blocked me." And he said, "No, I didn't." He said, "I don't know what happened." And so we started watching it then. So strange stuff goes on Twitter. I wouldn't take it to heart. The other thing is, and this is just a general statement and a little pushback. Every generation has to seek their own way to freedom. I remember in 2014 when my father was, that's the year he passed. That year I said to him, my father was 90 at the time, and I said to him, when you go, I'm going to kick people off your wagon because I got to get rid of dead weight. And he said, "No, don't do that. Don't do that." He said, "No, you got to bring them with you." And it made me think. So from 2014 for many years after that, I thought about it because I am of the generation that you don't leave anybody behind. Well, I'm not a Marine. Somebody getting left behind. And I believe that this generation is doing the exact right thing. I think they're getting rid of dead weight. I think it's a good move to do that because if we don't do that, then we'll just be dragging along as we have always been. It's important that this generation finds their way. And whatever way that is, as people that have been there, done that, with experience, I think it's important for us to have their backs. Maybe we should not tell them what they should be doing or how they're doing it. Maybe we just have their backs and say, "What do you want us to do? What do you want? What do you need me to do for you?" Because I find that when I do that, and I said this in a space last night, when I do that, I bring more people towards me and I'm able to influence them in another way because then they want to seek my advice. And I'm not a sage. I'm not wise counsel. I'm not that. But I'm a person who has a lot of experience in life. And if I had to err on the side of caution, I would go with what Newstoter is saying. There are people out here now that have no business talking about reparations. If you notice, every time I come on the spaces, I say I'm for lineage-based reparations, but I put a period on it because I'm not the expert and I'm not the one that should be talking about it. People better than me should be talking about it, and that are people that are younger than me. This generation, Black grassroots, has gotten us to a place where the federal government is going to have to shit or get off the pot with us. And
we're going to make them do so. That's the actual point of the rally, if you want to know the truth. And I invite everybody who is for lineage-based reparations to come to that rally, because we have to show up in numbers. That's just what it is. They're not going to pay attention to you unless you have the numbers. And at that point, I'll even take the dead weight numbers if you want to know the truth about it, because that's, it's politics and it's cutthroat. But I believe that this generation is doing the absolute right thing that they need to do for themselves. I might have 15 good years left ahead of me. If the Lord is willing, then the creek don't rise. And with those 15 years, I want to see some peace in my life that I have not seen in my lifetime. And I believe that this generation, like the minister said, is the one that we have been waiting for. And so I encourage everybody out there that's doing the work in any lane that they're doing it. If it's for the forward movement of Black folks, I'm with you. I'm behind you. I got your back. And there are plenty of other people my age, while you may not see them, they're there and they're working. And we see not just your efforts, but we see the fruits of your labor. You all may not see it because it's the trenches, but you're getting some fruits. And I'm not talking about low-hanging fruits. Y'all got a ladder on the top of the tree, picking it from the sun. And so just everybody keep up the good work. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Newstoter and DJ.
You're welcome, sister. Glad to have you. As always, love to hear you speak up in this space. See, my girl Black Native is up in here. What's going on, Black Native?
Hey, peace, Newstoter. Peace to the room. Let me go ahead and turn this down. I was actually listening to you on YouTube as well, so let me go ahead and turn that down. Yeah, I was wanted to comment on a couple of things. I don't know what happened with Godfrey, so I really can't speak on that. But I was in the room with Luke, and to me, him and the two co-hosts, I believe it was a troll space, or it was a space to try to, bring the talks of reparations down and the people's spirits down. We had a lot of intelligent people speaking in the room, and they was either shut down, laughed at, kicked off the stage. So they're really not interested. One of the people, she says she's a foundational Black American, but every time I've been in this space with her, she's always seemed like she's the opposition. That's just my opinion. And Asian hate towards Blacks, I mean, this is not anything new. They have a whole museum in China, and in that museum, they have Black people represented as animals, monkeys, whatever you could think of. And those are that's their museum. So they go to that museum and they get off on that. And I know I watch a lot of YouTube channels where like Black women who, might travel out the country alone, and it was like 10 different women speaking, and like I think it was like maybe 5 out of those 10 that do not go to China if you're Black, because that is one of the most racist countries over there in Asia. And I've seen how they do Black people over there in China, so I'm not even taking these people seriously. I don't mess with them people. I haven't bought their food in years. I don't shop with these people. I don't have anything to do with these people, so they don't get my money. I was in a space. It was like a space. I don't know if I would call it a troll space. And in that space, they were speaking about if white people can say the N-word. And it was 2 young Black guys in there. One was 21 and the other one was in his 20s. And they were defending, just like what you were saying, Kanye West was on Piers Morgan talking about, oh, poor white people, white men have it so hard. That sounded like the 2 coons that I was in that space with, defending the right for white people to say the N-word. And when I asked the question, you have over 50,000 words in the vocabulary. Why do you want to say it? And if millions of Black people are telling you that it's offensive, why don't you care about how they feel? And instead of the white people answering, the 2 coons was in there trying to defend them. So I was in there. Sometimes I go in those space for shits and giggles and just to hurt white people's feelings or whatever, or to even educate them And the brothers that was in it, give them some education on where the word comes from. It was like that's so that mindset is so 40s and 50s. I was like, nobody in this room was born in the 40s and 50s. What are you talking about? So it's that. And these were young black guys, you know what I'm saying, sucking up to white people. They will not come in black spaces. I said, I never seen neither one of you come in black spaces talking that shit. Because, you're going to get kicked out or you're going to get cursed out. So, they prefer to go in white spaces, do the cool shit, get pats on the head from white people, little butter biscuit trinkets, whatever they're getting. So I just left that space, and I had to woo-saw, because a lot of times those spaces like that it's energy draining in a way. And so that's why a lot of times I don't go in there. But sometimes I'll go in there for shits and giggles. But, normally I don't waste my time in those spaces. But I'm saying that it's younger generations. They're out there. They are out there. And I asked him, how old were you? He said he was 21. And I was trying to give him information. And I said, I know you can't be this dance. Who were your parents? Who raised you? I took screenshots of these clowns. And I also want to thank No Taxation for hitting me up about another coon that's roaming these spaces that I was following that I unfollowed immediately. So yeah, you have to be definitely on alert, because like they say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and we got a lot of work to do. And it was just kind of disheartening that it was young black brothers in there in their 20s defending why white people should be able to say nigger and telling us to get over it. And I said, the word nigger it shouldn't bother us, but the thing is, we know where it comes from. We know the history behind the word. And he was like, well, if they singing it in a song, I said, I've watched Cameron's old ones. They ain't listening to hip hop, but that word flows out their mouth as soon as they come into a confrontation with a black person. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do. And also I just wanted to reiterate, because I know Taxation brought it up, and I know the professor brought it up, but we do have this rally that's going to take off. And I'm going to definitely come, God willing, and I want all of us to be there to support. And it's only for foundational people with a lineage of slavery in this country. Nobody else is invited. We have to put our foot down on this. And so I retweeted it out, and that's all I really had to say about the space. I appreciate you allowing me to speak, and thank you, Newstoter. And you know what? I don't think you hear echo, because this is another phone that I'm using. So
yeah, I didn't hear it. I think we only hear it like when you were talking, and somebody will unmute their mic and talk as well too. But yeah, I don't hear it. So I'm glad you got that straightened out.
But what I want to know, what did Godfrey do? Because it seemed like Godfrey was always,
Godfrey.
Black Americans were, we were the culture, and they need to respect Black Americans, even though we know he's Nigerian descent. So what did he do?
Godfrey had a problem with when I don't know how this came back up, but you remember when Marcel went out to wherever Raphael Warnock was at, and he was asking him about reparations, and he was basically saying that it wasn't the time, and you just don't come out there and you ask that kind of question or whatever. He's like, if you want to do it on the low or whatever, that's fine. But he basically was trying to say that wasn't a time or the place to ask him about reparations.
So, again, see, this is when we allow these people into our culture, and, they think they are the culture. They think they are us, when he clearly lets us know that I believe his parents are from Nigeria. I don't know if he was born there, but I know that he's Igbo, and that's the tribe he always says. So, he needs to stay in his lane. Okay, you don't speak on what we need and what we should and what we shouldn't be doing. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't got nothing to do with your mama, your daddy, and your grandparents. So yeah, we gotta check these people, and I'm kind of surprised that he actually felt that way, or even had because they get comfortable. And then when we say, wait, hold on a minute, you know what, you ain't got shit to do with this. Then they're like, oh, you're xenophobic. Nah, you ain't got shit to do with this. And I don't know if you know what happened with Mark Curry. That's another thing. I don't know if you might want to touch on that maybe tomorrow. But yeah, he got accosted.
I saw that too. Yeah. I actually tweeted that out. So earlier today, if y'all get a chance, I tweeted that out. Y'all go ahead and retweet that as well too. We try to stay up on it, but yeah, I tweeted that out as well too.
And that shows you that no matter how much money you have, because after that happened, me being the nosy person that I am, I went and tweeted his net worth. This man is a millionaire. He had his own sitcom. This man has been, a comedian for damn near 30 years. And somebody came, I don't know if you caught it, when somebody came and whispered in that man's ear, and that dingy, dirty shoe white man had the nerve to say, I don't care what your status is, and I don't care how much money you got. Now the Wyndham is over here on the apology tour, just like every other company that does some fucked up shit to black people with the same old tired excuse and apology. Nah, we want money. Now, look, we don't. You could say that they said that they're going to do more training. You can't train racism out of people. That's just an issue that they have to deal with. So yeah, I didn't know whether you touched on that or not, but that's something interesting that happened to Mark Curry, and I think that happened Friday or Saturday or something like that. So
can you say what happened? Can you say what happened? What happened? I missed it.
Oh, he went to the Wyndham. He was doing a comedy. He was in, I think, Colorado Springs. He was doing, he went on, I guess, a tour, or he just was performing at a comedy club. And he went to the Wyndham Hotel, checked in, but decided to leave out his room and sit in the lobby and, sip a cup of coffee. And you had him being, asking for his freedom papers. Are you a guest here? And he decided not to respond. Now, the person that came up to him wasn't even security. He was just somebody that worked at the hotel. Then they went and got a half mixed looking person as his sidekick. And I'm glad he didn't give him no information. And then when he went up and to the front desk to complain and said he was being harassed, they try to act like they know. They just checked this man in. What, Mark Curry's like, what, a 6'5"? I know he's a real tall dude.
Yeah, he's about 6'5", 6'6" or something.
Act like you don't know who I am, and she tried to play it off like, who? Like, where did you come from? In other words, he was like, you checked me in, and he was being harassed. It's on YouTube. It's like about 26 minutes long, and he went up there. Next, you had D.L. Hewley. He went live with it. He was on IG live with it. So that's when they had to come out and do the regular, the regular apology letter that they do every time they shit on black people. So, but I land my plane on that. Thank you, Newstoter.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
As always, sister, glad to hear from you. Let me go ahead and like I said, these are going to be the last. I said we got a couple new people that came up here. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go 2 minutes, because we're going to be closing this space out. Let me go ahead and get to Original. Original, go ahead and give it to me in 2 minutes.
Hey, Newstoter, I just want to say this. See, people keep making excuses for Kanye. They saying he lost his mother. People lose their parents all the time. They don't act like this. Now, Brother Ray, he said he lost his mother and his father within 6 months of each other. Now, he's not out there acting a damn fool. He's taking care of his family. So all this stuff about, well, Kanye lost his mother. I don't give a good God, you know what. Other people have lost their parents too. That's just the crutch they want to use for Kanye. This boy is crazy. He's a nut. Now he's out here caping for the white supremacists. Why in the hell would I try to defend him? No. Kanye is on his own. I don't care. And see, here's what's going to happen to him. He's out there caping for the white supremacists. He's going to go off somewhere with them thinking that they're his friend and they're going to kill his ass. That's exactly what's going to happen to him. And I'll end with that.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait, hold on, Judge. Judge, I got to go ahead and get around the room real quick. And we can try, if we have any time, we'll go ahead and get back to that. Let me go ahead and get to Mr. Engaging. Go ahead, Mr. Engaging.
Hey, what's up, family? I'm gonna go just talk about the racism or the hate towards black people in general.
I had a Charles complaint, which was a human rights violation towards a job that I was having. So they try to jumble up my paperwork, try to say we're going to do it online because of COVID. We want to meet online, and I pulled up on them in person, scared the shit out of them. Went to the office space. So this Spanish guy, whatever, put his hand up and said, "I'm the same color as you." I said, "No, man, you could be the same color as me, but you're not me." I said, "My ancestors picked cotton. I don't know what your ancestors did, but I know that they ran over here." So the man got all in his feelings. And he was like, "I'm an investigator." I said, "Well, what's your badge number?" So when I started asking him questions, he started getting uneasy. But what they were trying to do was try to derail me from justice. Remind you, these are the same people that's supposed to look out for the human rights and the better of people in general. So this is insane. So like more and more, I want them out of the community, and I want them out of America. Honestly, it might sound evil, it might sound mean. I don't care how I have to do it nowadays, but I just don't want them here. I just want our land to ourselves. So that's all I have to say on that.
Appreciate that, Mr. Engaging. Let me give a shout out to Rena as well, too. Rena, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. I see we got Ree up in the spot. Ree, what's going on? Coming up here in the late night hour. What's going on, sister?
Hey, you. Hey, Newstoter, DJ, Ray, everybody in the room. You know, just busy. It's getting closer to the holidays. My birthday tomorrow, so I've been trying to get some things done.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It's not tomorrow.
Hey, happy early birthday. Happy
Charlotte Sagittarius, yes.
Happy early birthday.
We're not Sagittarius anymore. We're Ophiuchus. We're that new sign. It's 13th in the zodiac. Correct?
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. See, I don't know nothing about all that.
Happy 15th birthday.
Damn, 50.
I hope I live. You know what? I'm gonna do the reverse on you. I hope I live that long. How about that? So, you make me sick. So, I just wanted to say my opinion for Luke Space the other day. I was very disappointed, highly upset at the fact that it was disingenuous and it wasn't informative at all. It seemed more of an attack space versus a space that they were really trying to, you know, even be an ally to the American freedmen, the Black American family, because, you know, they don't want people talking about the delineation piece. And my thing is, we're not going to get around other melanated people being here who are first, second, third generation. The thing is that they have to get over the fact that their lineage is not our lineage. And that when you say that you're a diasporan or you're a Pan-Africanist and you fail to provide room for the American freedmen, then in the history behind that, so that way those who are lost, who need to, you know, find their way home, are able to get that information and that history. They can have those open dialogues with people who won't do them harm. Unfortunately, we're in a position where we have to also, you know, make sure we are well equipped and we are preparing to give out that information, so that way they know we mean business every time we speak. The one thing I love about RZA is that RZA is very much so, you know, what you see is what you get, and he doesn't mince words. The difference, though, in regards to RZA and how he doesn't mince words, much like Malcolm X and Martin together, they also were teaching who they were. They didn't get to go further. And that's, I think, where we are in a position at this pinnacle time, epic time, that we get to go further for our ancestors. It is very unfortunate that even with Godfrey being a comedian, that I think that, you know, he seems like an intelligent brother, even though he's from, his family is, you know, immigrants, that he himself took the position that Marcel shouldn't have approached Warnock, a United States representative, and asked him questions when right before that, during that same breath, a white girl started talking about how she goes to school, she needs resources and X, Y, and Z. See, the tropes get upheld because we have people who uphold the gates. They won't free the gates. So the battles are many. And it gets to be really heartbreaking, but it also is rewarding when we can actually slay our enemies. The Asian hate. Asian, it does not just mean Chinese or from China. Asia is actually a collection of people. Asian is to what black is to us when we're talking about the umbrella. And Asian means that people who are from India, different parts of Asia, they are considered Asian, even Japanese, all of the Asian diaspora, if you would call it. And they have a practice of classism, racism, and prejudice that they do practice even when they come to the States. I am tired of it. This is the problem I have with even the ADL. The ADL practices its own perpetual bigotry and hatred. Mark Curry's situation, thank you for Black Native bringing that up, because the ADL didn't even mention the situation with Mark Curry. As a matter of fact, the media has not even flooded the gates with what happened to Mark Curry. And the gentleman who approached Mark Curry in the hotel was actually Asian. Not sure what type of Asian he was, but he was Asian. And the sad part about it is that we have to be the voice for us so that we don't become the voiceless. But I posted to the ADL and the chair of the ADL that, they're so busy talking about anti-Semitism, but the FBI statistic database states that Black Americans are the number one most hated group in America, and hate crimes are up by the thousands in this year alone. The ADLU has not even addressed that. The ADL, excuse me. And so it's up to us to create our own space, and start to not just to delineate, but to create our own space where we can actually, again, protect ourselves. And I think that really was it. That's all I have for tonight. And I love all my elders. I love middle-aged people, all my young folks. We can't do this by ourselves. That's where I stand. I'll talk to you and I'll lead you to some water, but you're not going to drown me.
See, I'm a drown.
No, I will talk to you and I will lead you to water, but you're not going to drown me. You're not going to drown me, because I have to survive so that my lineage and my great-great-great-great-grandchildren that will be coming after I die has a way of life. And that is my goal. And if that can't be your goal, if that's not your mission, then you need to ask yourself, what is it that you're looking for? Because if you're in a position of all we got to do is just stay Black and die, you're in the wrong mindset. So I land there. Thank you, Newstoter and Ray and DJ. I love all of you guys. Just thank you for what you guys do. And Newstoter, thank you.
As always.
But I don't have no words for you.
Appreciate you, sister.
I have an observation real quick for 2 seconds.
Wait. Let me, because we got to go ahead. If I have a time, I'm going to go ahead and get back to you, Mr. Gagin, because you just spoke. So we got to go ahead and get this space wrapped up here. Let me go ahead and get it to Trouble and Insane, and then we'll see. Because like I say, I was supposed to actually be off of here by now, but go ahead, Trouble.
Hey, I just wanted to come back and comment on what Black Native was saying. What's up to you, sis? I was in the same group with you the other day that you was just speaking on. I'm not sure if you was still inside the group, but I don't know whether you had left out or not, but they eventually changed the name of the group. So what's basically happening is because they have the same group going on again today.
And what they're trying to do is
I was in that space today. I didn't know it was the same. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same, necessarily. I seen the topic of it, but I knew that it was the same host that it was yesterday. And what happened after we left out yesterday is about the topic that they had today. They want to use black people in their proxy wars, white folks do, in their proxy war against Jews. We have our own issues, we have our own battles, and so I've noticed a lot of these white cats have been tagging FBA, hashtag FBA, hashtag ADOS, hashtag breathing, trying to usher us into their space, just like Luke and the rest of them does. And it's a little bit curious why everybody wants to do that now. And so now what the white folks is doing is they see what's going on between black folks and the Jews, and they're, hey, guess what? We all have the same kind of a fight. It's the Jews that you all should be going after, not the white collective. We're not the white supremacists. They're the real white supremacists. So we need to band together against, Jews and everything. And so there was a few brothers who came in yesterday that gave some pushback. Shout out to the brother Talent who came up in there for a while. He was trying, he was swinging hard on them, and he'd asked them a question. Okay, well, I think it was him. It might have been someone else who asked them, okay, well, you want us to fight this war with you all against the Jews. Well, let's get this out the way. Are you for or against reparations? And everybody started pointing their fingers down. Oh, no, we're not against it. Well, you want black people to go to war with you against this group who you claim is the most powerful group of white people. So if they're the most powerful group, then they have all of the resources. So us having reparations will put us on the even playing field, which means that we all, fight with you all a little bit better. And they were still thumbs down to it, and then wanted to throw up the if the reparations came from the Jews, then we would be with it, But if it's coming from the rest of us, no. So we gotta look out for that too. It's not just Luke and them. It's not just these tethers, from other places. I hate to use that word. I'm sorry, but it's not just these other blacks that are not black like us. But it's also white folks that's trying to grip off of what it is that they see us doing as well. So I just want to point that out, and we got to be vigilant because it's a lot of different things going on. And to tip back onto that Godfrey point, I think it's a lot of people, blacks that are not black like us, that are not used to seeing the type of fight that we've been fighting. They're not used to seeing black folks roll up on the Warnocks of the world and challenge the establishment. So a lot of them are still in that massa is we sick zone, and we are beyond and above, and we have moved beyond that, and we're not trying to go back, and they're still stuck there. They still haven't moved out of that zone. So when they see us rolling up on a cat like, yo, this is what we want, this is what we need, this is what we doing, we ain't moving forward unless A, B, and C. They not used to seeing that, and it's scary to them. They still don't know if they should be Massa, but Massa, hold on, Massa's still sick now. What So there's that as well. So I'm not saying we should use that and say to give Godfrey any grace. I'm just saying that they have yet to catch up to the times. It's like South Carolina still in 1926, and the rest of the world is in 2022 hitting into 23. Some of them are in the same place in our land.
All right, sister, appreciate you. Insane, go ahead, and then we're gonna get ready to close the space out for tonight. Go ahead, Insane.
Hey, good space, man. Good space. I didn't really have a lot to add other than Godfrey. Yeah, he pretty much has established, I think, a pattern of behavior because he said something 6 months to a year ago that was really out of order. I forget exactly what it was, but it was related to the whole reparations debate. And he's just been one of those figures that's kind of in and out. He really, a lot of his stuff doesn't really get shared a lot. He spends more time being a comedian. But if I'm correct, about 6 months to a year ago, he said something really, really messed up about the whole reparations movement. And I don't know if it was so much about lineage-based issue as the whole idea of reparations. But he did say something really wild out of his mouth then. So he is pretty much establishing a pattern of behavior. So that's all I can really add to the conversation about Godfrey. I'll land there.
All right. Black Native sister, I'm gonna go ahead and let you and Mr. Engaging, and y'all gonna be the last two because Mr. Engaging had his hand up. So make it a minute, and then we're gonna be closing it out. So Mr. Engaging, go ahead, and then Black Native.
What about me? I'll talk to Origin.
You talk to who?
The Origin guy. Origin or original.
Original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on, y'all, because I was supposed to close this space out about 15, 20 minutes ago. So that's why I'm trying to go ahead, because I've been doing a lot of running around and stuff like that. Like I say, I'm doing caretaker duties and stuff like that. So I've been pretty tired. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give y'all a minute, and then I'm gonna be closing this space out because I got a big day planned tomorrow. So go ahead, Mr. Engaging.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be really short. My bad.
Yeah, make it a minute.
Yeah, it'll be a minute. I would say Godfrey. I'm gonna write down what I put up in what I texted you. Godfrey pulled the same move as that Asian woman in New York. You said he pulled a carrot and a Kenmore. And that's how I'm gonna leave it off with that. I look at that he was preventing a black man from exercising his right. But I think it's a little bit more deeper than what's being displayed. And if these are immigrants are all displaying the same behavior, then it's something about that immigration process that we need to be looking at. So that's just not for me.
All right. Judge Sarah, go ahead. I'm gonna give you a minute.
I just want to ask the Original Blood something. Okay, Original Blood, if you and I were Kanye's parents, you and I would probably
Real quick, Judge Sarah, because if you're asking the question, it's gonna go over a minute. So that's what I'm saying.
Come on, bro, this real quick.
Yeah, just a minute, sister, just a minute, because like I say.
It's gonna take me a minute. I'm just gonna say this because I want to see what's responding. What I want to say is what I think a lot of the differences is that you guys are males and I'm a female. If Original Blood, if you and I were Kanye West's parents, I think that you and I would struggle with raising him or how to discipline him because he definitely needs discipline. I'm sure you agree to that. But as him being a black man, Original Blood, do you feel any allegiance or anything to him as being a black man, Original Blood? You be honest. Okay.
No, I do not, because of what he is doing to black people. As I stated previously, Brother Ray, who is the co-host, lost both his parents within 6 months of each other. And if anyone should be acting erratically, it should be him. Kanye is using it as an excuse to go out here and do all this stuff. And then, like I told you, he is going to end up going off somewhere with these crazy white supremacists, and they're going to kill his butt. So no, him being a black man has nothing to do with it. He is a nut. That's just it. And you, Newstoter, go ahead and close it out.
Yeah.
Original Blood, I think that's one of our biggest problems. I know you feel very deeply and strongly about how you feel, but I think that's the core of our problem. That to you, he's not black first, and I think that's a big problem. And I'm only being honest with you.
Okay.
Can I say the Original Blood? You know what? Watch this movie called Tyrell. That's kind of speaking on what you said. Kanye go out there with his white friends and disappear. I think you would want to watch that because that's pretty much sums it up. So that's all I want to say. And the movie is called Tyrell.
And to add not to cut you off, Black Native.
Kind of goes along with what you were saying. That's all I want to say. Thanks, Newstoter.
No doubt. And to add to what Original said, and I'll just close it out on that part right there. My mother lost both her parents. She lost one when she was 18, and she lost her father by the time she turned 23, and had to raise her younger brothers and sisters. Had a chance to go to college and had to put that off and whatnot. And she still did not start and did not become a Sambo. So you're right, Original. you have plenty of opportunities. Like I say, she was actually getting ready to head to FAMU University and had to raise her younger brothers and sisters. So, and lost both her parents before she turned 25, before she turned 24, and she did not become a Sambo. So yeah, Kanye has the money and he has the finances to go get himself some help if he needs to go ahead and do that. On that note, I'm gonna let Ray and DJ go ahead and get a final word in there.
Yeah, you 100% right, man. This dude got $1 billion. He cool because he won't. He can afford the treatment 10 times over. He's choosing to go out here and continue this. So, hey, like we always say, all skin folks ain't kin folks, man. Just because you black, man, don't mean you got our best interests at heart.
You got it, DJ.
Yeah, I'm about to start a space, so come on over here, y'all. All right, stop.
Can we talk about Kanye?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All righty. I appreciate. No problem. I appreciate everybody coming to the space, y'all. Go ahead and check DJ out. Go ahead and check his space out. I'm sure it's gonna be fire. That's the late night space, hottest late night space that is on Twitter. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and check DJ out. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. I appreciate everybody coming through, all the speakers, the listeners. Thank you for tweeting out the space. Thank you for sharing the content as well. And we will see you guys tomorrow.